Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
And we are live in the studio.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Glorious
There's nobody
birthday.
here.
No one showed up.
No one showed.
Everyone who didn't show up, say, what up?
What up?
One, there's two.
You guys were so fucking loud a minute ago. I had to quiet you down. And now when you're cued to say something, you all shut the fuck up.
Squeak. I almost made you sing happy birthday, so that would have
No, please don't.
I can tell by the looking around that this is not going to work out. It's like
it's your birthday. We go sip a Bacardi like
it's your birthday, and you know we don't give up because that's your birthday.
That's for sure. That is true. That is true.
Wait, was Lance just dancing?
He was.
Please don't do that again.
He was twerking.
It's Friday.
He was
You're gonna
twerking for you, Dave.
You're going to get us kicked off of YouTube.
Are you okay, dude?
No.
So Dave has joined the 55 Club.
I'm an official senior citizen.
I'm about to get out of that one and get onto the 56 Club, but
You got a few minutes.
I got a few more months. But welcome to 55, Dave. How's it feel?
Thank you.
Did
Oh,
you wake
so
up-
much different.
Did you wake up in more pain than ever?
No.
You're,
I was tired.
bro, 55. Vinny told me 52, right? Wasn't that the year when everything falls apart?
Yeah.
But look at him.
I made it through.
He did a lot of hard drugs when he was younger.
I survived.
I didn't.
So far, I haven't hit that wall yet,
I
but
didn't really do
coming
hard
soon.
drugs, so.
Speaking of hitting the wall, we got Lance over here, right there.
It's,
Yeah.
It's hitting the
happy
bag.
birthday,
not
happy
the
birthday,
wall.
Dave.
I had
Thank
thought,
you.
I was under the impression because David told me you were going to be here, but apparently not. You were here though. You were in Denver.
I wasn't. I was
You
in
never.
Hawaii.
Oh, you never came. This is a big lie.
This is all rumors. Dave was high.
Let me go to the phone.
Oh no, don't even
Yeah,
worry about
you
it.
check that out.
Don't even worry about it.
Oh,
Well,
by the way, Dave, your first year of AARP membership is on me, so you should be getting that in the mail.
oh, I got that a long time ago. The ARP. Oh man, I was like, you.
Adam already bought it for me.
Yeah, I got him a lifetime. His
Too kind.
short lifetime subscription.
Too kind.
Dude, you look like you're on
Portal
tea right
Provisions. Wow.
You ripping?
It's fire rosin for those who are of stable economic means. This is the rosin you want to be getting.
Top shelf
sure.
is what you're trying to say.
Top shelf.
You have to put your pinky out when you say that, though. You must always hold your pinky out. There you go. Top shelf. So,
He's so good at making rosin that he's like a player who they want to. The other team wants to
Yeah.
pay not to play. You know, because that's how good he is.
Trying to level the field.
Right? But you can't. It's like the Yankees. If they see a player that they know can do damage to them, they just buy him, even if they don't have room on their roster, so that he can't hurt the Yankees. That's Nick.
They had space
Portal
boats
Provisions.
models, too.
So I heard Hawaii got a little hammered last week. Like storms
my
and stuff came in. What happened? Give us the lowdown.
Yes.
Give us the man on the street with Lance.
It was great. So we flew in on Wednesday night, and to your point, it was like a monsoon that flew in an hour after us, and it was just. It was our friends are local to that. Oahu is where it's at in Honolulu, and friends that are local, they're like, we've only seen a storm like this once or twice in our life. It was just the rain was sideways, man. It's insane. It was still good. It was good.
But the event was not harmed in any way.
No, the event it's a really trippy one. It's a 3-day, but they do Friday from 3 to 7, and then Saturday 10 to 6, Sunday 10 to 5. And I think they do that because, joking aside, a lot of people on the island do work a couple of jobs. You know, Uber by day and whatever by night. So they like doing that one evening shift so people can get in and check it out. But had a lot of friendlies out there. You guys know Joey Bravo, RMR, and like you said, Jackie 420 was out, and. It was nice seeing more folks from the mainland come out and support the island. They're trying to move stuff forward. It's still a little bit of a hot mess out there with legalization, but it'll get there.
Yeah, I haven't been to any events yet there, but I was out there a few times, and definitely because it's Hawaii, you got high expectations, of course, in your mind. You know what I mean? And it's like I think it's a lot like a lot of places that are known for cannabis. They never really get their shit together when it actually happens because they're so used to the being too easy almost. You know what I mean? Whereas like the places that never had cannabis, like Nebraska or so, you know, where they're gonna go nuts. You know what I mean? Like we're making this like the best experience ever because it's like they just haven't had that. You know, whereas it's like when you're in these places that are more established, you do find. Because most of the locals don't need to get involved, right? Because they've already got their little niche going.
Well, and I think most of the locals are, you know, I reference it as the traditional market and the licensed market. And I think a lot of those in the traditional market, they're smart, man. Like they know by introducing legalization, you're just allowing the tax coffers to come in and inject another 30, 40, 50%, you know, on the top of that aid.
And the locals are used to the white man coming in and stealing all the tax money that should go to everyone who was indigenous there. But no, there's I don't think there's ever been a higher tension between Hawaiians and, you know,
Howleys.
And the Howleys.
Mainlanders than
I remember
ever.
as a kid, I had a friend of mine who was he was Chinese American, right? And he lived in LA, but he lived in Hawaii. And he was telling me how racist it was. And this is like when I was like really young. I was like maybe 10, 11 years old or something like that. So, and it was that first kind of like reverse racism vibe of like, man, he's like, dude, if you're a white kid in this school, you will be thrown out the window of the top floor of this place on day one. Like they will fucking fuck you up. And he was Chinese, so he kind of got away with a little bit more, but he was still, you know, definitely, it's an island. Of course, you're going to have that kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, and it depends which island. You know, so Oahu, everyone rips on specifically Honolulu because of it being that big city.
Yeah.
You know, it still has some charm. You have to go to the North Shore or the East Side, but you're spot on, man. I mean, you still sense a bit of that. I'm very thankful for the locals that I'm friends with, and they appreciate me because I respect, to your guys' point, I respect not just, you know, their background and their upbringing, but the craft that they bring to the table. Because they don't chase the trendy triangle strains out there like they do here. A lot of those families, it's a multi-generational of the same cultivars being grown on that farm year after year after year.
Yeah, I had friends that were
novel
doing
concept. I know
in Kauai. Kauai was got a few people out there that were doing the Kauai Electric back in the day, and there was like, you know, something that was completely. There was no reason to bring in anything else, you know what I mean? Because that stuff had already created its own hype over the years. And, I mean, Hawaii is one of those places that it's like many people go there and never get to experience it at all because it's a lot of imported weed from Cali. Especially back in the day. I don't know about now, but back in the day it was like you couldn't find Hawaiian weed because it was too dangerous.
That happened last year. Like you're spot on, Adam. That last year we kept smoking stuff from California. Like you guys, like I know you got some classics here. I know you got Maui Wowie and PE and, you know, Cat Piss and all this stuff. This time around, thankfully, you know, a lot more locals have pitched up. And again, we toured a farm up in North Shore just before, you know, we got hammered again with the rain. But, you know, it is really nice to get some of the local flavors.
And was that all a greenhouse or indoor, or what was that?
It was a greenhouse, yeah. Just because they're dealing, and you know, you get this, Adam, as a grower, like there is so much they have as far as challenging with the environmental there. As an outdoor grower at heart, like even I respect them having to have some protection.
I had a like a unique experience just as far as growing out there because I was on a project in Maui when the whole hemp game was going off, and these guys and I was so nervous to I was like, dude, I can't tell anybody that we're doing this. Like, we are going to poison
Hold on. I call bullshit. You were nervous?
Well, yeah, I was not putting my name out there like, hey, guess what? I'm going to be growing hemp up here in the middle of your weed growing place. It was like to me, it seemed like insanity almost. And luckily, we did like a small little test lot, and then all those challenges rose up quickly. You know what I mean? Where it was like, dude, this is like a nightmare. Like, it's idyllic. It seems beautiful, and of course, but it's not a hemp place at all. It never was. You know, but people were just trying to like figure out angles because there was tons of land that was available because of all the sugar was gone, you know what I mean? And they were looking for new alternative crops, and they were like, what about hemp? And I'm like, oh, that is like such a bad idea, like in so many ways. And it sure was, you know what I mean? But
could you imagine what it would do through the problems we have here in the States, what we talked about with plants just involuntarily growing.
Well,
and
look at Area 420. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're like really surrounded by hemp
Yeah.
farms. Like if you go to Center, Colorado, which is up it's pretty far in a sense, but the whole area is just nothing but hemp, and there's tons of pollen and tons of and if you're on the receiving end of that wind, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like there's no way around it. So,
But you're right. They've got the land. They're cashing out of the sugar cane and the pineapples. I mean, talking to locals, it's sad. They're like, it's just not a thing anymore. It's just not advantageous for them to be these growers of some of these cash crops that traditionally have been notorious with that market. Just so well known.
yeah, I mean, well, coffee is obviously still being grown, I guess,
And chocolate, yeah, cocoa.
they're just going for the whatever's the highest value crop.
but
And-
it's not their fault.
I mean, pineapples are nuts. Like whenever I see pineapples, I'm like, there's a lot of growth for that fucking single pineapple. Like you look at like this.
Yeah, they're like artichokes, man.
Yeah, it's just like, there's a lot of action going on, and then you like cut the one thing off the middle, and you're like, well, I hope they do something with the rest of it in some way, shape, or form.
Don't go down that road. If we talked about the energy input into foods like almonds,
Oh yeah. No, that's
my gosh.
half of California's water is going to almonds.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It's
You're like,
Wine grapes.
yeah.
But almonds,
Almonds are
come
worse.
on,
Almonds
have
are
a
worse.
fucking cashew, eat a peanut. Give me a fucking break. Change the nut. I don't eat almonds anymore. I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Macadamia.
It was
Macadamia's
disgusting.
for the
Well, that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Macadamians are the best, as far as like.
That's Hawaiian, right?
That's a good.
macadamians are.
Yeah, that's one thing I do enjoy about Hawaii is they've got some awesome. They definitely have some awesome local tropical things that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like so, pretty much for me, it was always Maui or Kauai were the two. I've never even been to the Big Island, which I would love to go to because that's the real Hawaii.
Well, that's the only island I've been to.
really.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, and I just got the reports back from so my guy Ian came back, and the look on his face, like as he walked in, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's like, "You could have
the
warned me." I
fuck
was like,
did
"I
you
did.
do to me?"
I did warn you. I told you Aaron's crazy, so don't you worry."
Wait,
Aaron
what?
Zeman.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
Our boy that was held.
Yeah.
He's safe.
He's safe. He's
Mark
back.
safe from Aaron Zeman.
He came
Excellent.
home. He made it home. He made it
wow.
home. But he had the look of like a guy who had been through war. Like
Yeah.
he literally came back from like, whoa. Do you know who I'm talking about? Do you know who we're talking about? Okay, so
He's
you know.
watching the show right now. Come on.
Of course, Aaron's watching the show. Aaron, you didn't. He made it. Don't you worry. I got the beans too.
Survivor. He's surviving.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
dude.
No,
But
no.
thank you for taking care of our friend, Aaron.
We were going to link him up with you because we knew you were in Hawaii magically, but even though we didn't know, but we would have.
Yeah.
We would have made sure. We would have said, you have to find Lance.
No.
Aaron.
Oh, man.
Make sure you find him. Make sure you find
You
him.
guys know, because I'm like you, Adam. Anywhere I land, like there's some of the coolest people are like, "Hey, try this. Come hang out with me here." And I just, you love it. I mean, that's really a big part of what I enjoy about this industry.
Well, you have the perfect because you're dealing with like how to preserve finished product. So it's like you don't even have to worry. Like if you're coming in, like our guest that's coming on, you're there when the plants are growing, and you're talking. Oh wow, these look great. But then you leave, whereas you're there, we're like, okay, this is cool. I love all your plants. Show me the stuff in my bags now. And then you're like, let me see my bags in action. And they're like, look, here's your bags. You're like, now let me see what's inside. How is it preserved? Let me test it. Let
You're
me
the
double check.
BASF of the cannabis industry. You make the cannabis better.
That's one of the best Gen X comments you've ever made, Dave. I love that.
Wow.
We are
Is that-
definitely the BASF, dude. Love it.
Because he's dinging me right now, isn't he? Is he?
Oh,
It's your birthday. We have to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
part of the
I'm
job.
a Gen Xer too. I'm not knocking.
Oh, you're saying that people would not know that BASF commercial? That we okay.
Not maybe the millennials, maybe the top end millennials, but not the Zeds or the alphas.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm looking right over there, and he's got.
Do you
Did
know?
they make did they make VCR tapes or
Oh,
something?
I hate you.
They don't make anything. They make it better. So BASF takes something and makes it better. So they made the VCR better. They make the jet ski better. Yeah, it's pretty
I
bad.
remember buying VCR tapes with BASF.
I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate him. Do you?
Because they
know
made it
what-
better. It was a betterfied.
Wow.
Yeah.
Betterfied?
It has been betterfied.
I don't know about that.
So,
You guys are crescendoing out there like loud.
yeah. Speaking.
Hold on, let's all listen to them.
Oh yeah. Hey, you guys got a good show going on.
What are you talking about there, Strap?
Dave's getting his party to simmer down.
Simmer down, kids. Simmer down.
Well, they knew where they were coming. It wasn't like we said we're going to a
But
bar.
on the same token, you're like, hey, everybody, come to my birthday party. And then, hey, shut up.
No, I'm not
As soon
saying
as you get
shut
here.
up. Fucking talk. Just don't talk over us. You know? And we have headphones on.
I'm talking over here. I'm talking over
Yeah.
here. Well, as long
All right.
as it's not going out all crazy, that's all.
No, it is, according to
Sounds
them.
pretty good.
Is it?
No, you're not. You can't judge. You're talking to us. It's someone on YouTube or SoundCloud who was listening. If it
I'll
sucks,
phone a friend right now.
Mark's going to tell us if it
shout
gets
out
out of
to,
control.
Mark would never tell us.
Oh, no, he's just like, I don't care, whatever. Is there a game
What am
on?
I going to do? Tell these
Yes.
people to shut up?
You are the producer.
No way.
You're the
I'm
producer.
sorry, dude.
Oh, that's it?
That's not happening.
You're going to help them out. You're like, keep talking louder.
If you want to be quiet, then don't invite them.
Yeah.
So on that note, speaking of noise, you guys, Adam, I saw you across the room at the Necessary Evil that is MJ Biz. Dave, I only got to catch up with you for a few minutes.
At MJ
And that
Biz,
show, I
I
always
was
like to
avoiding
try
it.
to
Avoid
But-
everybody. Avoid everyone. You're like, at that show, I just avoided the entire thing, and I'm in and I'm out.
Yep.
He's like you didn't see me.
I didn't.
But I do have to ask you guys, it's that time of year.
Oh shit.
Am I going to see you at Cannabis? And if so, I've got an official invite for you to come to my annual party. So I got to know.
We're gonna it's one of those years where if some miracle comes through, then we'll both be there. If not, I have a feeling maybe Dave will make it there, but Dave will be.
Dave might have already gotten a plane ticket. So
Yeah,
yes.
so I'm sure Dave will be there.
Yeah.
So I may live vicariously through Dave or not. But
I got
we'll
a
see.
really cheap one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
$700.
Look, I owe everybody. I'm in hock up to my ears.
He's got to go there to just slang more dab X's, right? Is that what you're doing?
No, I don't even know if I'm doing that. You know,
You got to go.
It's the hustle.
He's got to get
I
back
owe
out
everybody. It's the only. I feel like it's the only thing I do every year,
Well, I'll tell
besides
you,
Fridays.
Dave, I'll help you out just because I've been a friend with you since you were 45.
Oh wait, what's going on?
way back in
Vinny, a
the-
drum roll, something, anything, something. There's a flex about to happen. Hold on.
So I will, if you bring a couple of your dab X's, you can set them up at our party. You can set them up and show them off, and let's get some interest
It's
going.
going to work when you're out there.
Can you add an exhibitor pass to come inside Cannabis?
I may have purchased a few extra passes, so that might be a possibility too.
I don't want to stand down on the line.
I'd love to
with
see
mumbles.
both of you because we do have a film crew hang with us and would love to.
You could
kind of
fucking
crazy-
say it. You want Adam.
I'm way more
Well,
photogenic. That's for
I don't
sure.
know which I miss more, Adam or his beard. I think it's Adam. So yeah, I kind of want to hang
I
out.
can bring the
with him.
beard. I have the beard still. I can bring it if you need me to. It's not a problem. I can always have it. Quick draw.
Yeah.
Beard.
There you go.
See, the thing about it is, you think he's talking about like the beard that he cut off and saved. He could grow that terrorist beard
We have
in
how
about
long?
3 weeks.
We got it. We got time.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
March.
It's a
It's
terrorist.
about 3.5,
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
About 5-6 weeks. You're good.
No, it's full on terrorist beard.
It's like a
It
chia
would
pet.
be
It's very
nice to see,
chia
but
pet.
if you both can make it out, would love to because we have a multi-level. We've got a whole patio, and then we got a veranda and a patio on the rooftop. We'd love for you guys to set up. Joking aside, and do a show there. That'd be epic.
So we could use that and a plane ticket for Adam.
Oh yeah, plane tickets would help. There you go. Yeah, and now.
You know,
What was your 700, Dave? That's about as cheap as you can get from mid.
Adam, I've seen how he flies. He can do it for cheaper. He can go. He could go as someone's carry-on bag.
The Spirit fly to Spain.
Dude, we killed it
doesn't
though.
fly here.
No,
We did pretty good.
We had all 4 of us for $700
Yeah.
or something like
If-
that. It was nuts.
It was something crazy.
What?
We did
I
really
swear to
good.
God, I
But
swear
this
to
was
God, it
in
was
2019.
It was 198.
Oh, okay.
It was 198 per ticket, right?
I don't know.
I somehow got us to get over there and with all our gear for like less than $2,000.
No,
total.
I remember that. I didn't fly with you guys.
And we had like 7. We had like a shitload of people, so it was more than 4. So it was like 6, right?
yeah,
6
we had
people.
KTI and
We had
So
6
you-
people under $2,000 out there. Yeah. Yeah, it was
I'm
pretty
looking now. So Dave, I think you're right. I think we can find one cheaper for Adam.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're okay with Turkish Airlines?
Hell yeah, that's my brethren. Maybe
Turkish Airlines, $480, dude. I think I could sponsor you flying out.
480.
Done.
That's a deal.
Make it happen from Denver. You want? Well, here's what you need. He's got to fly into Amsterdam on the 8th and fly out of Barcelona on the 18th.
These new drugs
Are
are
you
pretty
doing the
amazing.
walking tour as well in
No,
Amsterdam?
no.
What's that? I don't even know what that
Because
is.
there's a crew doing a walking tour like the 7th and 8th the weekend before.
No.
Who's doing that?
Oh no,
That's just, I found it much easier to fly into
I would just drive around in
Amsterdam
my little
first.
Vespa car.
Adam would not be a part of something like that.
Always. You're
Yeah.
always safest flying into the EU via Schiphol, via
Yeah.
Amsterdam. You are 100% accurate.
That's the way to
The only
do
time
it.
I fucked up was when I thought I was safe because I still had my residency card, and I was like, oh, well, I'll come in on that, right? And I thought that was going to be the smart way to do it, and it was like, no, dude, you fucked right up, because the guy was like, Mr. Dunn, please step over here, and I was like, what? Like, what's going on? And they were like, they took me to a side room, which I've never been in, and if I just went in as a tourist, I would have been fine, but I was like, coming back, not realizing that their system was so tight that they were like, the guy was sitting there on the computer and he was all looking like he wouldn't say anything for like a couple minutes, and I was just like, okay, what am I doing, right? And he's like, oh, you have a few fines, and I'm like, oh, fines are never good, you know. And he's like, and I literally had no money. I had like a couple $100 in my pocket, and I'm just like, this is not going to be good, you know what I mean? I was hoping to come over there and make some money when I was there, but I had zero, pardon me, right? And so the guy goes, yeah, you have a couple of fines, and he's looking and he's adding it all up, and he's hitting the keys so many times that I'm like, my heart is fucking just like, dude, this must be a lot.
3,000 euro.
And he's like,
5,000
yeah, and he's like, okay, 1175, right? And I'm like, 1100, right? 11,000. Like, my brain is just like, what is he talking about? And he goes, no, 1175. And I'm like, really? You pulled me over here for like
12 euro.
It was like 675 and 5 euros, and it was like,
Oh my God.
two parking tickets or some bullshit. It was like some it was so crazy. I was like, wow, this place they got it so tight. Like, they're pulling you aside for that. But it's because I was gone for a year, and they were like, oh, he's back. Get his money. You know what I mean? And I was just like, wow.
I'm surprised it's just that, man. I mean, some Bavarian countries, if you don't pay the 50-cent euro to ride it, it's like €100 fine. It's like they're very contrasting as far as like the cost versus the concept.
Last time I was in Amsterdam, I was in shock at how the prices had gone.
It's like Kingpin.
I was like, dude, this is the exact opposite. When I first came here, I got there in '89, and it was still the guilder, and the guilder was like 2 to 1, a little more.
Yeah.
And it was like beer was 1 guilder. I was like, dude, that's 50 cents. My brain was like, I'm living here forever.
I'm a drunk
you know?
now.
The weed was like 6 guilders a gram, so it's like $3 a gram. I was just like, dude, this is crazy. Like, I was like, okay, this is doable. I can do this.
Did you in that moment do the math and go, I can stay here
That's how I did all my
drunk and
math.
stoned
Yeah.
for
My whole math was
7
based,
years?
my math was always based on beer price, because
Beer and bud.
pretty much beer and weed, and that was like, okay, I could live here. You know what I mean? Like, that
It
was
is
how
not cheap anymore, to your point.
It's so
Hooters
opposite.
been over there
It's
for
20
years.
20 euros a gram. It's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Dude, you've been to Barna. Like, you go to HQ, they're what they consider tops, which you know are Cali imports. 40, 50 euro a gram. A gram.
It's like
not 3.5.
That's Japan prices right there, you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
back in Japan, it was 100%.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Well, so no jokes. Even British Airways has a 503 round trip. So
That's
I
what
have
we want.
$500 of sponsorship.
That's perfect. That's exactly what our sponsors are.
I will give you, Adam, if you can make it out to Barcelona. So I'd love to see you out there, man.
That'd be
How
awesome.
about this? We will call you later.
I would say the best part about this is that I feel so much better that I literally throw your logo on pretty much every flyer that I make, because I'm always like, well, you know, it's easy, it fits in there. Don't really, you know, I don't always write the name out, but I always put the logo in
Hold
there.
on,
So I
I'm
was like,
negotiating for you.
so I have been doing my work. So it hasn't been unchecked.
Let me negotiate.
Nothing but love, buddy. And I know you need a re-up too. That's a whole other side. So
No, but I have a whole bunch of cool things now, because we have a location, and we have we have requirements, which is awesome, because it's like, no, not just me with my bags hanging around, not knowing what I'm doing with them. We have an actual, like, we're going to reorder them actually, which is going to be pretty awesome for you. You'll be like, dude, I got an order out of that guy. Fuck.
So Lance, let's just throw one back. What we need actually is you buy the ticket in Adam's name rather than sending any money. Just use the do that. This way it's done, and it doesn't wind up changing anything. And if it's $503, we'll send you the $3.
It's all good.
We'll do it that way.
I'll send you my vitals.
Yeah.
You can buy me a quarter gram in bar.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
We obey all international laws when traveling.
There's the
Okay,
funny guy.
we don't break any laws whatsoever. We will. So that's
Why
not
would we
going to
do
be
that?
possible.
Why would we do that? We wouldn't.
No.
You're a
So
cop,
there's
a
no
flat foot,
buying
bull,
any
a dick,
grams
John Law,
anywhere.
you're the fuzz, the
Yeah.
Right? Look at them all. Now they all look up.
Oh, they're like,
when they
cops
hear
are
that.
here. Fuck.
What's going on? Motherfucking. You guys are all guilty of something. Okay? I don't know what it is,
One
but
police-
every fucking one of you is
One
guilty of
police
something.
sounding voice.
Yeah.
And everyone's
and
like,
you're all like, that was the funniest thing I ever saw. And that's not on camera, right? You didn't get that at all?
No, it was
That was so great.
Oh my god.
total silence.
Every single one of them shut the fuck up and was like, what's about to go down?
Docs
They're
are
all
our
over in the
studio
corner
audience.
too. I know
Dave.
exactly where they are in the studio.
Docs?
Oh man, you don't know what docs means?
I don't speak English. I speak Turkish.
Well, a lot of people don't actually, according. Anyways, but
Is that like Riz?
no, it's just like exposing your fucking like address and like personal information
What's that? Yeah.
via like live.
Oh, who's
stream.
doxing who around here?
Dave.
Dave's
I don't
getting
know.
doxed.
There's I didn't. No one knows who's here.
I doxed Soma a long time ago.
Oh, well.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
did you?
He had his
Oh,
fucking
I remember
number
that.
on
Yeah, you had to
Skype.
know. Don't go back to that episode and find out his number. Did we edit? We edited it out. Yeah, we edited it out.
Wait, we're not supposed to give someone's number out?
You'd have to
No,
find
it was a
bro.
screenshot.
I'm
It
sure
was-
he doesn't have that.
It was
same
one of
number.
those maneuvers, you know, like whoops, whoopsie daisy.
Oopsie.
It's okay. We always dox Mark every time at faceofbase at gmail.com in case you want to. In case you want to.
Complain about the show.
You know, the funny thing is, I think people sign me up to their like Cannabis email like shit because all of a sudden I started getting like, I can't say. I think so, dude. I don't know. It's just funny.
You
But-
can-
because I didn't sign up for another.
Hey, and if you haven't already, it's faceofbase at Gmail. Sign him
thanks,
up to as
bud.
many
yeah,
things as
BASE,
possible. Yeah,
BASE.
yeah, BASE, not the other
It's with
one.
these
It's definitely
days.
not the double
Well,
S.
that sounds like a hot item.
All right, we got Mike joining us also. It's going down.
Not too much. Thank you so
Here.
much for having me.
Well, it's okay. We'll turn your
Close
mic
to the
on in a minute.
Oh yeah, Mike, put that on so you know if you're
Will you
close
turn
to the
this
mic.
mic on?
Mike's man, Mike's help.
Try it now.
It's okay. We're trying again. We're gonna
Oh, cool.
get close on there. Let's see. Check.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, it's
There we
working.
It
go.
works.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
The grease man himself. So it's actually kind of cool. It's like good timing because when Strap hit me up and told me about you, it was like the next day. JW walks in with a bottle of it, so it seems like the buzz was in the air. And then I looked at the post and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like nothing. It's not that it's nothing new. It's definitely new, but it's also a extension of Mammoth P already from before, right? So, can you give me a little background story? Because I think once we get past this point, which is going to be now, Grease will be the thing,
And
Mammoth P
maybe
will
back
be
up
history.
a little for those of us
Yeah.
who are really dumb, who don't
everyone
know
about Mammoth
anything
P
about
in
the
their bag.
story.
Yeah, well, okay, let's do it. That's what I want to hear. Mammoth P story, which is a microbial, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I was the store manager of Way to Grow in Fort Collins, and I was actually the
Everyone's
young. Well, I was the youngest store manager, and
All right. Nice
at
one.
the time they were the largest hydroponic store.
Shout out to Corey.
Yep, shout out to Corey, and props to Corey. And
Getting
the
out of
fam.
the game at the right time and then back in the game, I think, or something, right?
Yep.
It's a never-ending story.
But no, it was.
They let me order a whole truck of raw
was-
powder wholesale.
It was really an honor, like, to be there, and
So what years we talking about?
this is like 2013, I want to say.
Okay.
14, some in that
Yeah.
range. And
Tyson, also Tyson. Remember?
oh
He's
yeah,
awesome.
yep, all the guys. It's a huge crew.
There was it was definitely green. Definitely Way to Grow was like where I think it really had that vibe at the time of being like the shop of Colorado.
It was
Yeah,
the
and,
shop.
well, so it was at the time. It was actually the largest purchaser in the world. They were the largest hydroponic shop in the world. So it It was awesome.
We should to note that was the first year of legalization for adult use in Colorado too. So hashtag timing, man, for the win.
Did you get
Exactly.
Did you get one of my hoodies when I made those custom hoodies?
Yeah, and I was rocking the hoodlums,
Yeah,
and in
yeah.
fact, like, you know,
Because
it
they
was
were
awesome.
So I got to, it was really funny too because you got the Way to Grow one with the MTV style one. Did you get one of those? 'Cause I never got one, and I was so pissed.
don't think I got one
So
of those.
it was
No,
so
I did
funny.
get one of
It was
those.
funny because we got the contract with him, and they were like, "Oh, just do something, right?" And I was like looking at the thing, and I'm like, "Way to grow." Wait a minute. And then I thought, oh, I'll just flip it around, and it's basically the MTV logo. So I did the MTV logo with the WT, yeah, and it just did it. And it came out so good, and then I never took one. You know what I mean? And then everybody who worked there who got one was like, "Dude, this is my favorite fucking hoodie." It was like it was the shit, and it was like they were selling. They sold product for us and pretty much laced everybody up from the shop.
Yeah,
it was
it was awesome. I had one of the jackets, and it was sick.
nice.
This show is worldwide.
So after Way to Grow.
Well, so I'm working at Way to Grow, and that's when Colin from Mammoth came in and approached me, and I started to be kind of the conduit for the Mammoth guys in the cannabis world. I started like teaching them kind of everything, like from growing and from like the basics to like branding. I did the initial testing for the product. My brother and I, we actually even got a paper published in the Journal of Horticulture on our initial testing, so that was like really cool.
And that was all with CU, or that was?
That was like kind of independently.
Okay.
It was through the Mammoth started through CSU, from grant money basically, and then they ended up buying the patent from CSU and going private with it, and so it was really cool to be like the first employee and to be that.
And really, nobody else was in that sort of part of that cannabis really heavy. I mean, everyone has like mycorrhizal products or maybe, great white shark and all that bullshit, but there wasn't really like anybody focusing on liquid too.
So that was the vision, was basically we're going to, make the bacteria that's going to solubilize each nutrient, starting with phosphorus because that gets bound up in the soil, and obviously there's a big issue with
slowest to break down.
Exactly, like not only the plant availability, but then also like the worries about it being mined and the sources being depleted in the future.
Wasting it too. Yeah.
Yep, and wasting it, exactly. So that was like a really good idea.
What species was that? Was there a certain?
Well, it's a consortium, so it's always like kind of different group of species that targets that.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a really cool platform to develop the technology, and I was like, you know what, this is going to work because there's not a beneficial bacteria, there's not a microbe for bloom. Right. This is a huge gap in the market, so that was the whole basic idea.
Because everybody kind of hits it up early and then might keep it re-inoculate once or twice maybe, but that was pretty much at a certain point you're just like, well, there's nothing.
Right.
Except for like I work with Microbe Life still. I like that product.
Oh yeah, great. And the thing about microbes is like the more the merrier, you know what I mean? It kind of, the better diversity that you have, the better breakdown and availability that you have. But sure enough, when you can target things, there's a really good value proposition there. So if they
got the right things to go after, then they're going to survive longer and be more useful. It's like when you do IPM products and you have don't have any insects, and then you're kind of like you feel like you're just wasting money. But then the minute you stop using it, then you see, then they rebound quickly because preventative shit is and getting ahead of anything is the smartest way. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what your product is.
So it was so early when I was working with the guys. Like I hadn't come on yet as an employee when I was doing all the initial testing, and I was helping them with the formulation too because I'm thinking to myself, okay, we're going to be growing these microbes. They told me, okay, we can grow them on anything. So I'm like, let's use an alfalfa extract because I knew about the beneficial properties of alfalfa, the tricantanol in there, and then also the high energy potential of the alfalfa. Like it's loaded with trace minerals and a lot of energy potential per unit. So it was basically the perfect thing to grow the microbes on. But ultimately, it ends up that actually is one of the reasons why the product works so well. It was actually the tricantanol in there. among other things, but mainly beneficial hormones like tricantanol that are pre-digested by the bacteria and put into the perfect form. So it's like tricantanol, everyone thinks, oh, I'll just buy, a cheap synthetic tricantanol. Doesn't have the same plant availability, has a really narrow window. And pretty much the way it happens in nature is the soil microbes break that down and put it into an available form so the plant can take it up and actually use it.
Sure.
And so that's the main reason why it works. And that's why with Grease, what we did is we basically make mammoth pee, but without the microbes. So it's just the alfalfa extract. And it's at a special rate and a special manufacturing technique where we're basically absorbing solubilizing the tricantanol and getting it into that form as close as we can.
And is that in all the products, or is that's in
just the alpha grease?
The alpha grease one.
Yeah, and that's kind of the story there. And the nice thing is you
Is
can
that
actually
the first product that you guys sort of developed on its own, or is that like a standalone?
Well,
would that be your top standalone product out of the
Grease? Kind of our flagship is actually more so the gold label and our cannabinoid boosters. Like that's what we got started on, and the idea there was initially pest management and going for, thinking that the cannabinoids and some of these building blocks from the plant itself is going to be the perfect natural pesticide, natural fungicide, because think about it, the plant's covered with all the trichomes. That's one of the things that it's like kind of doubling as for in nature.
Yeah.
And then when we started testing it and realized, yes, it does seem to have some excellent pesticidal, fungicidal capabilities, but it's also boosting the potency and increasing our numbers. And so with further investigation, we kept dialing in on it and realizing, wow, like we've really got something here as a specific cannabinoid booster, using the power of the plant back on itself. And
it's like working with, I guess, plant ferments in general, just that they're like everything's already there. If it wouldn't have been there to begin. It wouldn't be there to begin with if it wasn't available. So if you can make it available back again without any kind of issues along the way, depends on what you're in. So what kind of, besides alfalfa, what are the other main inputs that you guys are working with?
So
weed.
Yeah.
I really did not bring any weed because I was like, there's so many weed people there. I want to try this.
Who wants to show off their weed?
Show off their weed. Come on, show off some bud.
Where's Miles? Or IROC.
Yeah, exactly. Send them off. Well, look at you.
Oh, look at Lance is flexing right now. Okay,
I'll bring some out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I figured there's always like, when you come into a room with a bunch of people with weed, you gotta, you don't want to be like wasting the time frame. Oh, look, see.
All right, here we go. Thank you.
There you go. I got to share a quick story, man, because it sounds like you are definitely a protege to Colin from what you're sharing, dude. And funny story, Colin and I, we used to hit a bunch of shows on the circuit years ago, and we were going to the summer social, which is in Vista on the countryside of England. And Colin was out there in the middle of nowhere, dude, did not have a ride. We were staying at the same bed and breakfast. And literally he's like, dude, as soon as he opened his mouth, he kind of looks a little English like me. As soon as he opened his mouth, he's like, dude, are you here for, I'm like, yeah. He's like, can I get a ride? I'm like, yeah, how did you get here, man? Like, we're in the middle of the country, and he literally did not have a ride to the summer social. And that dude, he was, and I see you doing it too, man, obviously with this business, with this brand. Like, he was a road warrior just out there educating, like what you're doing. Because, I'm just a basic outdoor full-term grower. I don't nearly geek out as much as the level you're going into. But I love it, man, because we need guys like you that actually help us better understand how to create the best possible product at the end of the day, man. So you're killing it. That is awesome.
Well, I really appreciate that. And I think Colin's more my protege, but for what
I was going off age, but that's all good too.
For what it's worth. I actually taught him how to grow cannabis for the first time, and that was kind of a fun project. Yeah, and like it's interesting because working with those guys, it's tough. Like they are coming from a completely different world, right? Where they're speaking a different language, and that was I thank you so much for pointing that out, and it really is nice to kind of be a conduit like that, be able to kind of speak both languages, because it's like obviously like I'm the head, but then I was educated at like CSU. That was kind of one of the really good like points that we all like connected on, because they were university professors, and Colin was a research associate out of CSU, and they were actually like department heads too. So like it was really fun, like a real honor to be like working with those guys. But at the end of the day, it's all about passion and it's about the plant, right? So it's like I wanted to bring some really cool information to this like talk today and say, you know, we've learned even more about microbiology and about the plant, and since Mammoth and since all this stuff has gone down, they've really like surpassed and are hitting like the next level with the rhizophagy cycle, and then with the, in my opinion, I call it the endoglandular cycle. So basically, we know.
Dave, did you hear that?
Endoglandular.
Just gotta make sure Dave's on point. Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, pay attention, man.
So basically, like, essentially, we all knew that these microbes were out in the soil and on the plant and on the surface of the plant, and being, you know, they thought that they're in the soil doing their thing, solubilizing the phosphorus.
Yeah.
And they're on the leaf surface and everything like that. They're on the plant and all around it. We know that. But no, what they figured out recently in like 2018 and then subsequently in like 2023, they just came out with more papers on this. The microbes and the bacteria specifically are going into the plant. The plant is actually taking them in, absorbing them, and farming them. And this goes
Is
to
that
like...
is that because it's a plant of the phytoremediation class, or is this something just ambiguous to all plants? And
So this is ambiguous to all plants, and this is actually how all plants survive in nature.
that's cool.
So like, just think about a tree just growing in nature or whatever. It's pulling the microbes up out of the soil, and it's actually pulling them into their roots, into the root tips. It's dissolving most of them right there at the root tip, and taking in that cell wall as energy, nitrogen, because the outside of the cell wall of the bacteria is mostly nitrogen. Okay. So it pulls that in, and then it actually incubates and is feeding the sugars from photosynthesis to the bacteria, and sure enough, incubating them, and it actually circles them around the root cells like this, and actually can stop and cycle them back the other way. And it's almost like a little stomach, like in the roots. And then they'll actually go out the root hairs. So you know that you've got a really good microbial diversity and good bacteria in your plant if you've got good root hair growth. When you pull your clones and you've got the nice fuzzy root hairs, that's a really good sign of good plant health and strength and resilience.
Love it when it's fuzzy.
And then the cool
Symbiosis
thing is,
on a whole other level.
so right, and it's shooting.
And you see that a lot more on soil plants than you do when you do hydro. You don't get any of that. You get kind of just tubular ones that are just like these little tubes that are like straws going like, give me some food now, and then that's it. They don't know how to do much else.
Like it's less in hydro and then even less in aero. So that's a really good point. Like for the aeroponic cloners, that's why we have this bison seed coat product for like when you're popping seeds or planting clones, to reintroduce that bacteria, those microbes, that good microbes that's going to give you your immune system right away as soon as possible. But this is the coolest thing. So yeah, it's taking them in, it's circulating them around the roots, and then it's actually shooting them out the root hairs back into the soil, so in a grand cycle, and then absorbing them back from the soil. But the coolest thing is it's taking them and it's actually absorbing certain and specific consortiums or different strains of microbes and different types all throughout the plant, and it's actually pumping them up in the stems, in the leaves, and then the craziest thing, by far the craziest thing, is it's actually selecting and bringing them up into the glandular trichome heads. So all trichomes contain this bacteria, and the glandular trichome head contains some of the best and most efficient forms of this bacteria. And what's happening, like, why is it doing this? It's tapping into the nitrogen in the atmosphere. So it's absorbing actually the atmospheric nitrogen. Like if you think about trichomes, it's an aerial structure, completely covering
Like
all,
an antenna.
Exactly, and that's why all the heads have to be just a little bit far apart from each other, and that's why the heads will grow over to the side and all kind of try and get as much air space as possible. It's because they're actually taking in nitrogen from the atmosphere. Again, the bacteria is taking it in and trying to regrow their cell walls. The plant is pumping them sugars, and it's a little incubator. It's a little bioreactor. And the cool thing is the plant is in complete and total control of this whole process. So it's actually turning this on and feeding them. And what it is it kills the microbes by dissolving them with superoxide, basically hydrogen peroxide almost.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's why the plant needs
H2O2, just choking it out, right?
Right, and that's why the plant needs oxygen. That's why if a plant doesn't have a lot of oxygen, it'll tend to be really small, squat, and never really take off and do anything. It's because it doesn't have the ability to defend itself and do this process and create more nutrients. Thank you. And so basically, the other
It's kind of like Roundup. No, I'm just kidding.
oh, yeah, Roundup will actually like chelate a lot of the iron, which will turn off this process, unfortunately.
Well, then you'll start making your own. Like they have that one product that what is it called? They had the new version of it, which was like the same idea, where it was just that it would produce in your gut. So I was like, well, that sounds terrible. Like that's like a terrible idea.
Well, before we get to our next guest, there's a question from the chat, and
you're staying. Don't worry. No one's going anywhere.
Is there a limit to how many different microbe products we need? Serious question.
Great question. Technically, the more diversity, the better. So, like for example, like Miles is here. He has those great ferment products. Those are going to work incredible. They'll also even work with like the grease grow bloom, like our ferments. Like you could run multiple ferments. You can run them with other laboratory strain microbes. And you can run them with compost teas, things like that. Literally, the more diversity, the better. However, you don't want to be adding pathogenic microbes. So there is such a thing as too strong of a microbe, which is basically your pathogens. And what those do is they'll overcome the oxidative resistance, and they'll actually basically start to eat the plant and start to attack the plant because they're not getting the sugars that they would normally get from living in just like a normal system.
Interesting, because I was always wondering that too with microbial products, just because there is definitely like warnings on that microbe life of like maximum times, maximum amounts. So it's like there is a limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a limit, and you add too much of a good thing, that can be a problem. Yep, and like for example, that's why our bison brew compost is so good. It's because we take the time 2 years to fully compost it and windrow it and turn it. If you used it right away initially, it would have some of those microbes that are too strong, that are basically, they call it oxidatively resistant, and then the plant is not able to control them, and then boom, they become a pathogen for you. And that's another reason why lactobacillus works so well in the soil and also spraying on the plant. It's because it tends to be a pathogen suppressant. It'll actually take that pathogen and either outcompete it, or funny enough, it can even help it a little bit to where all of a sudden it's happy. It doesn't need to attack the plant.
I was going to say it won't go after your plant.
Exactly. So and Super Grease is our lactobacillus product. We really are really into nature farming, and basically a lot of people think you can grow a plant only synthetically or organically. The truth is you can do both, and you can do all three. You can do it just fully synthetic, you can do it all organic, or you can do it kind of like a hybrid style. The interesting thing is if you're growing all synthetic and you are using tons of hydrogen peroxide and everything that you could do to possibly like be killing off your microbes, there's still microbes in that plant and in the bacteria and in the glandular trichome head and everything. Just not the same diversity. And you're actually getting a lot of the secondary plant metabolites and like the really good compounds that we want, the terpenes, all the good stuff, esters, like you name it, polyphenols. Most of those compounds are coming because you have stronger microbes. The stronger microbes that you have, the more that the plant needs to create those compounds to control them. So literally it's a byproduct of having really good quality, more diversity. Like that question, that was an excellent question, because the more diversity you use, honestly, with any system, your quality is going to increase. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, like, well, it's like if you go to the gym and you only do one exercise, you're not gonna get the same results as if you go in there and confuse, do muscle confusion and change it up all the time, and then you get like, okay, everything's working because you kind of give the plant the same test. You know what I mean? Like, here, try that, try this, try this, try that, and then at the end of it all, it's resistant to every. That's the problem with hydro in general. Is people start to get stuck on. There's like the plants have such low resistance to anything that if you have an issue, it's like a wipeout. You know what I mean? Compared to like, oh, we lost a couple here, a couple there, but very few. And same with monocropping in general. Like if you just have all the plants are susceptible to the same powdery mildew, then they're all going to get it at the same time because it's introduced into the environment. So.
Right, like the microbes will also buffer the pH quite a bit and like things like that. And like, yeah, they're like an insurance policy for you because they boost your immune system. They give you a really hardy plant, and also typically the flower will last better too. Things like that. Like, and then just the effect, by far the best effect.
Yeah, and those are all things you notice too. Like with the organic, what people don't get is that it cures better. The terps last longer. There's a lot of those little things that you just don't notice it until you have you have too much weed around, because usually the weeds, it's gone too fast before you. But if you have old weed that's, you can tell if it's a good crop, everything's banging on all cylinders, that will last. Whereas if you have a kind of a not so good of a crop, fuck it, it'll be dead real quick.
Definitely. And
let's welcome Tian to the show real quick, because she's in from Thailand. It's going waking up. She's waking up.
Yeah, it's like 7:30, right?
Tian, we're tag teaming.
I had my coffee and wake and bake.
Nice.
Welcome to the show, Tian. Thanks for the Thailand update. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's someone good from Dave. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I will see you guys. We'll catch up on some of those details.
Okay, for sure. I got plenty to talk about. So see you soon.
And we'll get you re-upped, the clap bags too, and see where you're at on those also, man. So
let's also discuss version 2. Of what we want.
Dave's face on it. No, forget about it.
Wow, dude,
it ain't happening.
I saved you last round, Adam.
Only if it's with Daisy Dukes and some roller skates.
Now we're talking.
All right, you guys have a good weekend. We'll catch up with you. I'll hit you up when I get back from Amsterdam.
Peace.
Thank you.
Now we're talking.
Tian, welcome to the show. For anyone who doesn't know, if you've been to Thailand, then you've been by some project that Tian has advised on, because her influence is everywhere there. So we thought no better person to give us an update from Thailand, because I don't think anybody here has any idea.
Well, the last time I talked to my friend up there, he was so disillusioned by everything. He was just like, dude, it's terrible. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you can't do nothing anymore. But of course, it's like, that's one bad angle. So,
well, the last time you were on the show, a new administration had not taken over yet, right? Or they had, and everyone thought that there was going to be all these new rules, but they were really the old rules, and people were just going to enforce them.
Just new palms to be greased.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's been almost a year since I was last on the show, and I'm happy to say I told you so. We have a new prime minister that is more open to gansha being an industry here in Thailand. And we don't, the cat's out of the bag. We don't see it being recriminalized anytime soon.
Good. Oh, that's good. It's kind of like...
How about an applause?
Thailand's a little like the Amsterdam of Asia, in the sense of like big talk all the time. Oh, it's going down. No tourists allowed. And you're like, you get there and it's like, no, dude, that's just talk on the chatter on the airwaves because they want to have a better reputation, I guess.
Yeah, it's just all clickbait. But yeah, we were just at the tail end of our high season here in Thailand, which is from November to February. It's the cooler season, and we get about 40 million tourists a year. Probably half of those people come during the high season. And the last month was particularly special for the cannabis industry. We had our 3rd annual Phuket Cannabis Cup in beautiful tropical island of Phuket, shortly followed by the Full Moon Sesh, which is solventless competition.
Oh, no, that's cool.
Dope.
That is cool. When, so what date was that?
That was probably the 2nd week to the 3rd week of January.
Gotcha.
But that was a lot of fun going between Phuket and Bangkok. Try the best flower, try the best concentrates. It's it's like a family reunion. Adam, like we met 19 years ago in Amsterdam. That's when people would come to Amsterdam, the cannabis community, to have that freedom. And it was just so rewarding to have everyone come to my country, have a reunion here. All my friends from California, all the hash makers from Europe, to come and enjoy the Thai cannabis scene. The food, the islands, the city. There's so much to enjoy here.
That's awesome.
And
what was the big winner? What was the winner?
Yeah.
Now I remember.
I was the first round flower judge for the Phuket Cannabis Cup, and then I was the official bud tender competition judge. So I did whole training sessions for the bud tenders. We picked like a dozen of the best bud tenders in Thailand to compete. The training sessions about cannabinoids, terpenes, customer service, and they took their, this knowledge, combined it with their own personal twist, and we had a really, really interesting competition.
Did any of your students win?
No, but the only woman in the competition won.
Oh, even better.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So we're going to be working on something together for sure. She
find-
has a few dispensaries in Phuket, and so I'm just looking for any opportunity to return to the islands and smoke some good gancha while I'm there.
For sure. No, it's always funny at every event when unless you won or somebody won, nobody remembers. I mean, literally nothing. Like I'll have it where I, like they just announced it. I come in the room, like, hey, who won? It's like, I don't know. It's like, God, dude. It's like no one gets it. Like no one ever absorbs it because it's only the pissed off people who are pissed because they didn't win and the one person who won. You know what I mean? And that's it.
Or our entire brethren are
your friends who
stoned.
won.
But I did have it one too. I had it one year where I was standing at the bar at the Milk Bag, and I absolutely had no thought that I was going to win because that year I kind of felt like my entry was kind of weak, and I was just like, forget about it. I was ready to buy a beer, and they're like, dude, the Hog, it just won first place, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And I went up, and I was just like, it was funny because it was my Kanye moment where I was shocked. I was like, dude, I had all I wanted to win that year was best booth because I had made my booth so dope, and I was like, I'm not gonna win with the weed, but I'm gonna win with my booth, and I didn't win with the booth, and I was already mad. So I was in that like, you guys are idiots, fucking, I had everything, dude, I had it all that year, It was like, no, but it was. It's always funny, but again, you never win, you never remember.
Yeah, famous people. That's how you react. You finally win something, but you wanted to win the other thing.
I was bitter that year. It was one of those years I was like really pissed off.
Someone reached out to me the other day with like an 1100 light grow in Thailand. So like, are the grows pretty large like that? Are they usually like 1,000 lights or more?
They can be upwards to a lot more because that's the great thing about here in Thailand is that we have a lot of space, so we can grow very large operations.
I heard of one guy who had 300 rooms with each one had 200 lights, and it was one facility, and I was just like, wait a minute, you have 300 rooms with 200 lights in each room. I was like, that is outrageous. And my friend went and toured the whole place, and he's like, dude, every single room has a different kind of light in it because they would just be like, try this light, try that light, try this light. But the guy that I'd sent out there was from Illuminar, and the guy was like, let me show you our best room, and he walks in and it's like, good, it's our lights. Well, that's fucking good to see. Out of it wasn't like 300 different things, but there was at least 100 plus different lighting companies because they were just in Thailand. They're buying them from China super cheap, of course, and then everybody thinks they got the best, and okay, well, give me 200 lights, we'll see what you got, you know what I mean? And then we'll keep going. But
so why don't you get all those companies in touch with Tian, because they're going to need help in making sure that the people that eventually sell their weed know what the fuck they're talking about. right? So we'll connect you guys
Well,
after.
anybody,
Nice.
anytime
Legit.
somebody says they need you to go to Thailand, most people are like, okay, that sounds
like,
good. I'll go. You know,
when?
it's like Hawaii or any of those places that you're like, okay, that sounds good. I don't care.
Yeah, but would you have known which season to come to, which areas, how the climate's going to affect everything, what the demand is going to be like, whether or not, you know, how to negotiate somebody who's lived in both cultures? That
Yeah.
we got the person right there.
Yeah.
So the north is still pretty much like kind of the more grow-centric place, or is it kind of like spread out everywhere now?
Outdoor, yes, because that whole area up north has more mountainous. It's a lot cooler.
Yeah.
But most operations now are indoor, although I do see a lot of greenhouse operations coming up, right? Because you have the space, the freedom. There's no regulations on the space so far, and you have all this tropical sunlight. It's been like maybe the third year of decriminalization, and just by judging flower, you can definitely see there is a huge improvement year by year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right, we have like all these, it's kind of like a green rush that's going on here in Thailand. We're getting all the world's like best canna mines coming together, imparting their experience and their knowledge, and supporting the local industry here, supporting the Thai people, getting them up to speed to these international cannabis standards, right? So clearly we're now a major player in the global cannabis scene. We will happily represent that. We have low production costs, and we're already starting to export to a lot of EU countries, Australia, South Africa. So it's happening. This global empire is happening now, and it's cool to be a part of it here in Thailand.
Well, the best part too is the fact that it's got history. You know what I mean? So it's people want to go. It's just like how Amsterdam was for the one side of the scene, but obviously they don't have the beautiful outdoor conditions. And Thailand's always been known for even though most of the weed back in the day wasn't even coming from Thailand, it was all coming from Vietnam. Anyway, so it's like kind of but it has that mystique still. Just like when we were talking about Hawaii earlier, and it's like when you land in Hawaii. If as a weed person, you're like, as the plane is coming in, you're fucking starting to scope around. Somewhere, I'm going to see a plant somewhere, But there's so much going on. And Thailand, I'm sure, must be crazy now because it's totally. When I was there years ago, it was like, obviously people still wanted weed, but they were like, everybody was so nervous in the service about everything that I was like, okay, this is going to be. I'm glad I have my own stash on me because I don't think I'm going to be able to even find good weed here for sure. But nowadays it's a whole new world.
Whole new world. Oh, look at that. See, I can't tell anybody to be quiet.
No, it's over, dude.
It's done.
It's out of your control.
Yeah.
It's a birthday party, bro.
So tell
your
us,
fault.
Can you export to everywhere that will accept it, or is it just by some type of treaty we don't know anything about?
As far as I know, as long as you have GACP compliance and the right export licenses, any country where they have a medical market that's open to imports. Like a lot of,
I'm sure Germany's big now, and
especially they don't have the infrastructure themselves. They really grow up such a large scale. In Thailand, we have a lot lower production costs. So it's just the same way we're famous for exporting quality rice. We want to be the same for exporting, quality, low-cost, medical-grade flour.
Yeah, again, it's like, especially if you can grow, sort of hybridize it with good greenhouse. Because, outdoors, obviously ideal if you can be in the right conditions, but it's also like, I'm sure it's such a learned thing in those regions, and people probably are. I can see a huge failure rate on trying to do outdoor in a place like that because tropical stuff always sounds good on paper, and people think that's what the plants want, but it's like, nah, they don't. They're not looking for that at all. Maybe a few different types are, but not what they're looking for higher out. They're looking like what Chiang Mai is. It's going to be more mountainous. It's going to be a little more altitude, kind of like any good growing region.
Right. It's extremely difficult to grow outdoor in Thailand just because we have such high heat and high humidity. Only the indigenous land races can really thrive.
Yeah, the dew point will kill you.
Wait, it's hot in Thailand?
In Thailand?
It's hot in Thailand?
Why, yes.
Dave's on point today.
I don't know if I'm going to be with
But yeah,
Hot and tropical.
it was like in Puerto Rico, we had the same issue. Like every night I would go out to the greenhouse and I'd be like, you guys do realize like at a certain time every day when it crosses that little dew point line, the whole fucking place is just filled with water. You know what I mean? Like, there's water on every single leaf, which is going to bring in botrytis and mold and all sorts of shit. And we know, of course, that's what happens. So you have to be like, it's great for certain things, but not for cannabis usually. You know.
Right, and we're so close to the equator too. It's very difficult for photoperiod plants because the days pretty much stay the same length.
Yeah.
But Thailand, we do have some really great Landry sativa strains that are like the foundation, like some of our favorite old school strains of Northern Lights, Laughing Boots. That's something that I've really tried to push here in Thailand. Is growers kind of focus more on utilizing our native cultivars here instead of just importing all these Cali genetics in. People don't come all the way to Thailand just to smoke the same thing that they're smoking in LA. And in Thailand we have these really unique genetics, and what I really like seeing are these what I like to call the Krung strains, which are like me, that's hybrids, right? Half Thai but hybridized to like pump up the THC.
Like me. Like me. Like strains like me.
I agree 100% with what you're saying. I never understood why Amsterdam became like Cali, Europe. You'd go there and they would all advertise having Cali strains.
Now it is, of course.
Well, look what it's become. It's ridiculous. When I go to Thailand, I want to smoke an indigenous strain. I think that's what's going to, that should not be hybridized. The outdoor strain should stay exactly what it was.
It's really hard though, because it doesn't matter where you are. Like locals who grow weed and actually smoke weed themselves, they just want the best of the best, and they hear so much about other places and they want to experience those things. And for them, the minute that you give them something that's like grows easier and it has more smell, and they're just going to go towards that. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. So it's very hard to like hold people back, because to get people to appreciate local weed. Because back in the day, for instance, there was hundreds of thousands of pounds were going out of Thailand and in ships, you know what I mean? So people were making huge amounts of money, and that weed took a long time to get to where it needed to be, and then it finally got to where to the right people. And it was amazing because that was the perfect weed for that type of situation. That's why Thai sticks became popular. And it was like, when you compressed weed like that, it was a different animal entirely. Like when you leave all buds all like open and nice, they don't taste the same. Like you take the same weed, you squish it all up, wrap it up, send it somewhere, let it sit for a few months, then unwrap it, break it open. It's going to cure. It's a totally different thing. And I think Thai weed lends itself to that, because it was like Jamaican, and a lot of those weeds were like, if you smoked them on the island, it was actually like rough and didn't really taste nearly as good. But when it got to the States, it was always like, oh wow, this would have, it'd have a totally new thing. And those were down to microbes, right? I mean,
literally.
I was going to say, those are the microbes working away, changing everything as we speak.
The terroir.
And terroir, exactly. And imagine back in the day, the conditions would be so like the bottom of a boat, in the bottom of in the back of a truck, in the middle of the winter, in the middle of they're crazy like temperature swings and all sorts of stuff happening, and those things are sealed airtight, so there'd be like activity within there going on that you just couldn't really replicate because the route was different every time, you know what I mean? So you get batches, you know what I mean? Whereas now we're like, it's grown right here, and then it gets harvested and it gets sold right there next door, so there's never a, people don't actually get a cured product very often. Usually it's a couple months old at maximum, you know what I mean? But back in the day, you wouldn't get to you for 6 months, you know what I mean? Or sometimes a year or 2 years, who knows? So it's interesting to see how that those kind of things, because old people appreciate those because that's all they ever had, and they don't get the same effect when they smoke fresh weed, which is much more, it's strong, but not the same kind of strong, you know what I mean? It's not like a psychedelic high. It's more of a, like terpy high or something,
Right.
I like the Thai strains. They're my get shit done strains, you don't need to be like super baked all the time. And I do want to say before you get discouraged, like, oh, there's no Thai strains here. There is a movement of growers that do specialize on the Hangkarok, squirrel tail, Hangse, the tiger tail in the Pukok Mountains of Isan, like in the country. Prempa V Cup, they focus on sun-grown Thai landrace cultivars. Oh, yeah. And these were like the original like Thai stick, right? So you did mention the Vietnam War. It was actually that gancha did come from Thailand and in Laos. It's very native to this mountainous region in Isan in northeastern Thailand. Right. And how the Thai stick happened, they didn't have baggies, so they would just wrap them on sticks. So that's when people think Thai stick is a cultivar, but no, it's just the means of packaging this Hangkarok.
Tied on the stick. The Thai stick, man. It's a Thai stick. Yeah.
It's so cool that they do have those land races still there and that they can tap into them, and it's like pretty amazing that it's kind of come full circle. And all.
Is there any universities working with any of those kind of stuff to kind of isolate any of those things, or is there anybody that's setting?
Yes, actually, a few different universities are working on medical aspects, and I think there are 9 different heirloom cultivars.
said to shut the fuck up.
Whoa, Dave. Really?
Damn, Dave.
How about that?
You didn't have to do it in the mic.
Yeah, there are these heirloom cultivars that the Thai government are supporting the cultivation of.
Yeah, it's again like there was a time period where it was Thai, Afghan, Mexican combinations that were kind of ruled the world at that point, and then it's like obviously they're in there in some of the older genetics, but most people didn't recognize. They recognized the Afghan, didn't want to recognize the Mexican, which is stupid, but people kind of like turned away from the idea like, oh, that's just dirt weed. And I was like, no, that was great weed out of Mexico. You're out of your minds if you think weed was bad. It's just that it became like the number one source of the crappier weed. And, and
the land race is like the perfect, it's the perfect.
It's hard to grow if you try to grow Thai strain indoors back in the day with a fluorescent light. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, it's not going to work. You're going to have an 18-foot tall plant with tiny little buds that take 20 weeks to flower, and you're not going to get even close to
Why is that a problem?
Because they just won't. It's not like in Thailand where that shit would have been flowering from day one, and it would keep on flowering and keep on growing. But you have it indoors, and you're like, unless you're on that right tip and you're doing that, because most people are, they just keep growing it thinking it's got to get bigger, and you're like, you should have just flipped that on day one, my friend.
It's like the perfect example for natural farming and how the plant actually grows in nature, and it's so nice to see that. And to your point, like if you take that plant and bring it right inside, it grows all wonky, right? It's not used to it. It takes so long to breed these microbes basically out of the plant in a way and have it completely change over its whole microbiome to the indoor microbiome.
What would happen if you brought all of your products to Thailand? Would they just be like out of their own element, or would they be able, would the local thing overpower them, or would there be
So that's a great question. Like basically it's only going to increase the natural potencies of what's already there.
Okay.
It's not going to basically supplement or give it something that it doesn't have. It gives it more of its natural building blocks so it can just pronounce its full genetic expression.
It wouldn't be a competitive sort of thing going on there.
No, and even if you could spray it on a room of 30...
It's the BASF. Oh. He's making everything better.
Making everything.
Yeah. And you can even spray it on 30 different strains, and it's not going to homogenize. It just gets the individual expression pronounced.
Okay, let me just say, you say that now, but what about 5 years from now? Is there going to be some Franken shit that occurs, or...
So they're working on it. They're trying to isolate these exact microbes and trying to Frankenstein them and say, hey, this is the one. This is the silver bullet, right? But it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
Well, it's like constantly changing, right? I mean, things are evolving, or...
Well, and it's actually to a higher degree than that. They're actually really difficult to grow in culture, in laboratory conditions, because they don't like oxygen. Oxygen shuts down their reaction. So they're just very, very hard to cultivate.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You go anaerobic, or...
Yeah, like they're actually like to the next level above anaerobic.
To the next level? Anaerobic to the next level.
It's called microaerophilic.
Okay, so that's like a total shutdown, basically.
Yeah.
What could go wrong with that?
Well, Yeah, it's just interesting. I just think it's so cool that Thailand has the land race and now is coming full circle. And I think that it's going to be a beautiful beacon of like the past for them to embrace that while they still step into the future here.
For sure. And it's like, there wasn't that many, because it was all equatorial pretty much. And then you had Afghanistan, and then you had a few like weird wonky things out there in the world, but nothing really like that became, the legendary stuff, which is, there was a few regions and that was it. Then of course indoor, makes everybody kind of level playing field, except the differences are the fact that you are in a place that like has, it's like just like in India, if you can go out and just like start milking plants in the middle of the jungle somewhere, that has a totally different, connection to the past and to like, it's like those plants just grow wild, which is awesome, and unfortunately all we have is wild hemp, for instance, in America, but it's that kind of a plant that if you just let it do its own thing, they'll create this sort of like perfect homeostasis where everything is like 1-to-1 ratio. The plants are all just fucking, we don't need us at all involved. They continue to produce. And yeah, thank you, bro. It's for him.
Oh, what's the compost scene like out in Thailand?
Yeah, give us the shit.
Are they into like more organics or?
We do have some cultivators who are doing living soil, but for the most part, most people don't, because there's no. I mean, it's kind of like in the States too, where anything that's organic has to be USDA technically, and it's not, it's a federal thing. But so there's really no way to prove it when people say they grow organically here. But I know I visit a lot of different grows, and we do have some people who are doing like living soil.
We have a big problem with that
there's
too.
There's definitely a market for compost teas and microbiotic products.
So what are the testing standards? There's no way to prove if somebody makes a claim. There's no.
You can't claim it. It's like literally there's no point in the cannabis world to ever say organic, because you cannot. I mean, if you really want to play that game, then you better fucking pony up, because it's going to be expensive, and it doesn't really add to the advantage of nobody's paying you extra money for it, unfortunately. Like, people haven't figured out that they need to pay a little extra. With food, it's happening. Like, people have finally figured it out. There is always like, it's like, dude, even at Walmart, they have a huge organic section because people will pay that extra amount. So they figure, oh, okay. But with cannabis, it's so hard. People don't get it. They're like, so it's cheaper, right? You're like, no, it's actually more expensive now. What are you talking about? Like, I put extra work and time and energy into this. It's a living soil, and they're like they look at you like you're, like crazy because you want 20% more or whatever the difference might be. But if people get a chance to consume it, and they actually have a really good sort of, they're like really looking for an answer, not just like looking for the cheapest weed, because that's the problem, is it's best price, right? Best price is what people want to know. Everything best price, right? And you're like, no.
You're in business now, man. You better understand the market. Not everyone thinks like Adam Dunn does and has to have the quality.
I know exactly
that
the
you
market
have.
here. They want it to be over 30%, and they want it to be super cheap. You're like,
super cheap first.
Yeah.
And then they go for the next number that goes up. It's fucking ridiculous.
Their brains don't work beyond 30.
And unfortunately, I mean, that's one reason why Grease has taken off, because of the cannabinoid boosting aspects. It's like, unfortunately, metrics do matter, and people like are looking at that number. So if you have a product like the gold, or like the amber or the purple that will increase your numbers, and we've got guys winning cups with it. It's
the
pushing
30 club. You have to be up in that zone.
It's pushing those, and then if you have lower level producers, it's like really pushing them like crazy.
The dirty 30s.
No,
you're almost in the decrepit 60s.
You and I have been talking about this for a long time, that the number that they put out as the metric of quality doesn't mean quality.
No.
It doesn't mean that at all.
No.
And it is forcing the breeders in the wrong direction for the commercial side. I give it to you.
The funny part is I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, it's weird that everybody cares so much in the flower department, but the minute it goes into an extract, nobody's really caring. If you say, oh, it's 62%, they're like, whatever, let me try it. Oh, wow, this works really good, tastes great. Nobody really like cares that much because it's, like you don't want a 92% anything, because it's going to have no flavor. So people actually get really like obsessed in the flower department, like some magical bullet is going to happen. It's like, it's just going to be boring and like not have much like going on for it if it's over 30% because there's nothing else in there. You know what I mean? Whereas if you have
it's like going to a vineyard and asking for the wine with the highest alcohol content. It's not going to guarantee it's going to be the best one.
Well, I don't know about that, but no.
Yeah, the last time that Mad Dog 3030 tasted great was never.
No, and that's the thing you learn really quick. You might do it once or twice, go for the highest alcohol, anything, and then you're like, okay, that's not improving the quality at all. But with THC, people think they're stuck in this world. Germany's the same. Germany, like, you can't sell a strain unless it's 30% plus. You know what I mean? And
oh my gosh.
And back in the day, the weird part about Germany too was if you got arrested in Germany, they also went by quality. Like they would They'd weigh the cannabis or the hash, then they would test the percentage, and then they would charge you on the THC that was in that exact thing.
Wow.
They wouldn't charge you on the weight as much as the THC. So if you had really bad weed, you'd get off a lot easier. If you had really good weed or good hash, you're really fucked. You know what I mean? It's almost like the acid thing back in the day of the paperweight or something. You know what I mean? Like, really?
It's a false equivalency is what you're saying.
Totally.
It's absolutely false equivalency. It really is, because we're at this pioneering, groundbreaking phase where every new country and every new state doesn't learn from the past right now. They want to just they think they've got the best way to do it, and we're still in that everyone competing against everyone else trying to maximize their profit. So don't fault the industry.
Well, we're the perfect example here in Colorado. Nothing has been figured out yet. We're like the first ones out the gate. Still don't have fucking social nothing going on that's even making any sense. And you
can't walk outside smoking. It's still against the law here. How is that possible? We supposedly built this tourist economy.
Oh, in Colorado, they're making money on both sides. A cop can pull you over and say, I suspect that you're high. I'm taking you to the hospital right now, and I'm drawing your blood. And give you a fucking DUI for it. It's bullshit.
You know what to do. Am I being detained? If you are, then shut the fuck up. If not, you're free to go.
That's going to get you really going really well. Yeah, I know Colorado just didn't quite embrace the right part of it all because they got really obsessed. Like, they did a really good job of like, hey, we're going to track all this from seed to sale and all of that bullshit. They kind of like focused on all that, but they didn't think about like, hey, when someone comes here and they're a tourist, there's nowhere for them to smoke at all. They can't go to their hotel. They can't go to a park. They can't go to here. They can't go to there's nowhere physically to go. You know what I mean? And there's hundreds of stores.
Well, there is some place to go.
Now there's
called New York.
Oh, there you go. That's another spot. Yeah.
Just go to New York.
You
can smoke anywhere.
I know. And then you get a place that's coming out of the gate like that, and you're like, okay, so here's a place that people are like. Colorado has a lot of open space. It's not like you're on top of each other, but in New York, you are literally on top of each other. And there, you no problem. Anywhere you can smoke cigarettes, you can smoke cannabis. It's like, it's crazy.
Is there a lot of extract in Thailand?
Yes, actually, we do have a lot of great hash makers here from Europe. It's not legal, though, technically. We have a 0.2% THC cap by weight on extracts. But, I mean, that's kind of how things operate here in Thailand. There's the laws, and then there's the actual enforcement of laws. The same way prostitution is technically illegal, but, there's at least 3 major neighborhoods.
They have what? They have prostitutes in Thailand?
In Thailand? For real? You're kidding me.
Cotton prostitutes.
No way. Did you know that, Mark? You didn't know that?
My hands are up in the air. I don't know anything over here.
Okay. I mean, all right. They say it's illegal in Las Vegas too. I don't think so. So, what's the? Are there any, movements towards keeping all the outdoor strains indigenous to protect the genetic line? Because we were talking earlier about, what would happen if you started planting big hemp fields in the middle of the finest genetics that there were. You're going to let that out. You know, there's a chance things get crossed that you don't want to get crossed.
You're going to have the strongest
Like
hemp ever.
pollination?
Yeah, well, there are volunteers all over the place here now. It's tough to even have an outdoor crop. I mean, we have friends here from Colorado Area 420, which is a massive facility down in Moffett, Colorado, but they're surrounded by everything. And pollen comes from all directions, no matter which way the wind blows. And it's really difficult to have a seedless outdoor crop. Sometimes even
Really, and the
indoor.
hemp farmers aren't worried about their plants going hot because of that.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't happen that year anyway unless they collected seeds and then grew those seeds out. So none of them are doing that. So it's kind of like, to them, they don't get the effects, but it totally fucks up the other way around. If you're downwind of a hemp farm and you are got seeds, not only do you have seeds, but they're shitty seeds. So you're like, great, doesn't really help you at all. You know what I mean? At least with the hot hemp seeds, if you did grow those out, you might find something that's super unique out of the whole thing and be like, okay, well, that was worth something, right? But no, it's a problem. But at the same time, they could have done that years ago. Like if they ever wanted to like totally fuck up the weed game, all they had to do was years ago let hemp become legal, and it would have fucked up all the farmers. But they never thought. It was like, shh, don't tell them because that will fuck up everything.
It's somewhat interesting. There's also beneficial bacteria on the pollen grains themselves too. So like that's literally like right there on the pollen. Like as soon as the pollen meets the egg, the beneficial bacteria are literally right there. And then the plant actually deposits even more beneficials like on the seed coat. So as soon as the seed root pops out, it's got its little microbiome and its immune system right there. So it's pretty cool.
It's like with a baby's born naturally compared to C-section. They don't get because they don't come out the birth canal, so they don't get that initial inoculation from the mom, which is super. That's why those kids always have a lot of allergies and stuff, because they don't have that. They're just like, oh yeah, just pull them out, and it's like, no, it's that last. We're smart like that, and the plants do the same thing, obviously. So that's cool.
Totally.
That is very cool.
So the seed coat is that what is in that same thing that you have? Is that product?
Yeah, the seed coat has all the microbes from the bison compost, and then we mix it with some calcium bentonite clay, and sure enough, we're getting 20%. We're getting 20% better seed germination rate. So if you're spending a lot of money on seeds, it's actually very worthwhile investment.
So earlier we were hanging out, and I introduced you to J-Dub, and he had the buffalo, and I remember when some of the benefits from that seemed pretty cool, which was one of them was the fact that the I guess a bison, buffalo, right? Same. They were only eating this sort of certain grass, which was very young and a lot of little flowers, and it was very high altitude.
Yes.
And they had a fourth stomach, so that gave a different microbe. Because his whole thing was kind of like your same thing, where they sent it into the lab to get it tested, and the guy at the lab went fucking nuts. He was like, dude, do you know what you have?
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, it's off the chart. So I think that the combination of the bison thing is like the lost little piece it's like a little piece of the puzzle there that makes it extra special.
Yeah, definitely. And if you think about it, the bison, they built the fertility of this country, and sure enough, when they bunched up in their giant herds, they would eat all the grass from the beginning of the herd. So the ones in the back would have to nibble on pretty much everything. So they eat a ton of different species. So that's why they have the diversity. And they've got the best diversity of their microbes. That's according to the Cornell lab when we sent it off there.
I believe that was the same lab too that we ended up doing.
Yeah.
That's like top dog.
Which is really cool. And then like the nice thing about the bison is they're bioaccumulators. So as they're going around and foraging over such a wide range and then so many different species and migrating and stuff too, they're basically getting like the best indigenous microorganisms from the whole area, and then it's loaded with humic acid, fulvic acid, all the trace minerals, and then it's not only in a bioavailable form, but it's with the microbes as well that are associated with that, the release and releasing the enzymes to make it all truly available to the plant. So, I mean, when you do a compost tea with this bison brew, it's amazing. Like, you'll see a jump in growth like 2 or 3 inches literally overnight from the fulvic acid and from the bioavailability, and then in the end the taste and the flavor is just like off the charts from it. Yeah.
That's cool. And so where is that, like in Wyoming, or where do you get it?
So we're working with a Colorado bison farm, and they have the bison run around on 50 square miles, 53 square miles. So it's huge. Like, and that's what you want. And it's actually at high altitude as well. So it's like, really, it's some of the toughest microbes and some of the most stress tolerant microbes that gets you that hardiness for your plant.
Yeah, that's huge. And I mean, it's also ancient. There's some ancient things happening there too, just because those are some of the animals that are probably, unchanged for the most part. If they're out there, it's not like there's nobody feeding them. They're not giving them pellets or some bullshit. You know what I mean? So if they got 50 miles to cruise around and they get to eat, like I said, all the diversity that's going on, it's probably like the last pretty good source that you could really imagine, because there's not many other animals out there that you can connect
absolutely
with,
and it's one of the best sources of protein for us to eat and stuff too. Like, it's got this heme iron in it, which is like the best form of iron for us, and it's actually, the compost is loaded with iron too, so the iron deficiencies are pretty common, so it really helps with that.
Oh, you just made me think of like the future bioengineered cannabis where you smoke it to get vitamin C, vitamin E, all your nutrients. So like, we're advertising, look at this, it's a multi-joint.
Yeah. So that's really funny. Like, the metabolites in herb, this is going to blow a lot of people's minds. It's actually...
hold on, we need a drum roll.
Get ready for a nugget.
Nugget!
Get ready.
So it's pretty amazing, but the cannabinoids and the terpenes are actually antioxidants. So why is smoking herb so good for you? It's because you're actually absorbing these antioxidants that are like fighting cancer, fighting all this crazy bad shit in your body. Why are most potheads like generally pretty freaking healthy people?
Add this to the bud tender curriculum in Thailand now. This is breaking news.
I already have it.
This is breaking news.
Yeah, it's great. The antioxidants actually kind of mitigate the whole, combustion of the plant too. So that's why you get a lot of like long-time cannabis smokers. They never really have instances of lung cancer because
that's what I was telling
balance out that oxidative stress.
Yeah, I was telling Cece the other day because her and her girlfriend were asking me like, so what do you think's better? Dabs or cannabis when it comes to like your lungs, and I was like, oh well, for sure cannabis, because it has, if you're smoking flower and it's right, everything's in in check. The plant, it's very healthy cannabis. Like, let's say it's grown organically, everything is as good as it can be. It should have the exact amount of antihistamines built into it to give you the expectorant quality.
It's a Benadryl?
To balance out whatever you are taking in, whatever tar or whatever is coming, because it's very, very intelligent plant to begin with. So that the minute you take it and you pull it out and turn it into dabs or extracts, there's a possibility that you're eliminating that part of it, that constituent of the plant, which is a tiny amount, but it's something that's obvious, you know what I mean? And so it's the same sort of idea, I guess.
Yep, and we're going for all those secondary compounds. Like, it's not just the THC, it's not just the potency, it's like the 300, 400 other compounds that's creating the whole entourage effect, right? And that's why they call cannabis, the fountain of youth.
Well, it's also the difference between...
Who calls cannabis the fountain of youth?
Yeah, Dave. Dave didn't get the message.
Rastafarians.
Oh.
Of course they do, right?
I dig that.
I mean, the thing is, what I noticed too is when it comes to doing dabs and things, because you are cutting like sort of a piece of the pie, you're not having the full pie at that point because you've sort of limited it out. If you smoke one type, you don't really even get like that much of an effect, you know what I mean? But the minute you start jumping around and trying different things, all of a sudden, like, you're adding the other pieces of that puzzle and hitting those little triggers. And that's when you get like, okay, now it's after the fourth different type, now I'm noticing something, you know what I mean? Whereas with weed, it can be like right out the gate because everything is there. And I always get like much more effect for the amount of, if you start looking at like the little amount of trichomes that would be there compared to a big chunk of hash. But there's a lot going on within the flower part that people just don't really know, you know what I mean? I think that's like that. So that's where all the sort of secret sauce is at.
And you guys are lucky in Thailand to be close to the ocean, because like one of our products is it's called GrowWithGrease. It's like essentially a seawater type product where like seawater is actually an amazing ingredient that they use in like natural farming, and it's pretty common because it's an excellent delivery mechanism for all those trace minerals. So it ends up feeding like the soil, and what's so cool is like the more trace minerals that you get into the plant, the more compounds that it can create, like we're talking about. But then also think about like for your food farmers, same exact thing. Like the better the microbial diversity for the food, it goes up into the fruit, and then we eat it, and then it helps our microbiome. And that's kind of why like that better quality food kind of feels good for us too. So you're so lucky to be close to such a strong agricultural area. It's like a good heritage.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a blessing here.
Yeah, and definitely if you had the right, like, because we have one of our guys that's here, he does a ferment line, and you know, just having that whole opposites, like here it's comfrey and alfalfa and things that you can grow. But if you're in a tropical environment, I mean, that kind of opens the door to all sorts of really interesting combinations.
Right, some really nice fruits that you can
and stuff that are
ferment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that would be cool. You should, if you do get to go to Thailand, then you should try to get that rolling for somebody, because that's, you know, again, you just need a few ingredients to make that work, and it's
right.
It's
like the more ferments, the better. What we do is we take, for our grow, we actually take like teen level, like full plants, and break them down. You harvest them really fresh in the morning, as early in the morning as possible, to get as much dew and as much moisture on them. And you basically chop them up and ferment them with sugar for about, like, it really only takes about 2 weeks, but then it keeps going, and it slowly keeps going from there. But essentially, we do that for the grow, and then for the bloom, we actually do it with the buds themselves. So we harvest the fresh buds, chop them up, and ferment them. So it's like when you're using the exact specific plant, it's even better. But it is really nice to draw in the local environment. You could use pretty much anything. You could use a ton of banana. Like they use a lot of banana flowers. That's a really popular one for bloom.
You know, I can tell why Miles is not listening to the show, because you've been talking about ferments for 2-3 minutes, hasn't flinched at all, hasn't cared, doesn't, you know, we talk about his ferments on the show all the time, but you brought it up. Nope, he's sitting there blah, 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 blah.
No, he knows that. He knows that forward and backwards.
He should be jumping in, but no, he's sitting there, can't hear anything we're saying. He's so wrapped up in his own life. Anyway.
It's okay, Dave. Not everybody's having a birthday today.
Yeah.
Be all whiny.
No, I love it.
Is there any special Thai traditions around birthdays besides our classic? You guys have
Not just the usual celebrating and eating.
It's not like Holland is the worst place to. Don't ever have a birthday in Holland.
No, remember that.
In Holland, you have to buy everybody drinks on your birthday. That's the deal. It's like, what? That is the worst fucking deal ever. I'm out of here. Like you go out on your birthday, and they're like, oh, it's your birthday. Cool.
I'm going to Thailand.
Buy me a drink.
Man.
You're like, what? Like, hold on, I have to buy you a drink? Like, dude, this is not how it works in America. So.
Well, my tradition is not be in Amsterdam then.
Yeah,
for
don't
my
ever
birthday.
do that.
Don't ever do that.
Terrible place for a birthday.
No problem
let me
with
tell
that. I like where I am right now.
Are you traveling anywhere soon, or you just got stuck in there in paradise?
Oh, you mean outside the country?
Yeah, you got any trips planned? You gonna go to Barcelona?
Yeah, I would like to manifest Cannabis somehow, but I'm working on that. I got a lot of projects here in Thailand, but that would be very cool to see my friends in Cannabis that I saw just last month here in Thailand.
Well, stick around. We just got Adam a plane ticket.
Yeah, we might be able to get you.
Yeah,
we get the right person.
We were manifesting right there. All we did was pressured him into it, and I bent him over a table and made him an offer he couldn't refuse. But we got Adam a plane ticket there. He has to fly as baggage. I've never heard of a flight like that.
I can do it. Transformer style. I just put on a luggage. I'll just wear luggage. I'm in. Let me go.
Actually, you have to fly on someone's lap.
Probably.
Yeah, long flight.
For a long flight.
Long flight.
Long international flight.
No, he goes. It's like six connections. He's island hopping in some places right now. It was $504.
Stop in the Azores.
Yeah.
Jump another flight. Go to Gibraltar.
He might be stopping in Thailand for all we know. So if he does,
Probably. It's kind of a detour, but if you ever stop by, let me know.
The flight was $504. I have no idea where it's going to go.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal. I like that.
No, he said it was on a major airline, right?
He said British Airways.
Yeah.
That's fine. I can deal with that. Right. Maybe. I don't know. They've probably gone down. I'm sure they've gone way downhill.
Yeah,
They used to be sort of uppity back in the day. There was a time. Singapore Air is a good one to go on. I'm sure they fly a lot to Thailand, right? That's always like, when you go on that airline, you're like, God damn, this is way better than any airline we're on. Like, the minute you get to America, you jump on Delta or some bullshit. You're just like, yep, welcome back to America, where all the stewardesses are like battle axes that are like,
we don't call them stewardesses.
Honey, how you doing? You're like, oh God,
they're flight attendants.
This is not Singapore Air. You're on Singapore Air, you're like, wow, this is fucking nice, Yeah.
Flight attendants.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Dave.
Well, when you see them really...
Dave used to fly Southwest, but now it's over. His love affair's over.
I flew Southwest just...
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
But why? They didn't...
I thought they were like, no good anymore. They weren't doing the thing that you love.
No, I said they were going to change their seating policy from open seating to like reserve seating, and you have to pay for it, which kind of sucks. But I guess we'll see how it goes.
You write that letter, Dave, because Dave's really good. He's the guy that gets on the flight and he starts looking for angles. He's like, oh yeah, I'm writing a letter, and then they go like, oh, it's okay, dude. Here's some coupons, and he was like, I'm gonna write a letter on every flight. I'm looking for one guy to complain about. There was a guy.
I will never complain about something that didn't happen.
He had a guy die on him on a flight right in front of him.
Literally.
And he's like, I'm getting paid.
No, what are you talking about? I did not say that.
He did secretly in his mind. He was like,
"Fuck that! That was a horrible experience." They did CPR on him for an hour. Man, it was horrible.
Yeah,
sitting next to his family. Wait,
they didn't land the plane after
No. Why would they do something like that?
No.
It seemed
was
like longer.
Really right in front of you?
I'm sitting right here, it was right. I saw them every time they switched.
You got to see it even.
I had for us in Colorado, it's not that big a deal, but the plane is pressurized to 8,000 feet. So think about someone going from sea level up to 8,000 feet right away has some sort of reaction to it. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, man. Another interesting thing about stewardesses and pilots.
Flight attendants.
Oh, sorry.
You got to get it right.
Sorry. Flight attendants and pilots, they actually live like 2 years shorter because there's more rays up there at that altitude that affect you.
Oh, somebody play the Twilight Zone music right now. Oh, if Vinny's not here, he's selling barbecue.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's
cosmic rays.
It's not the glamorous job that it sounds like.
In fact, you get more rays in the airplane than you do from that scanner down there.
Ooh, don't go to the scanner.
I'm just saying.
Adam loves you now.
I never do the scanner.
He loves you. He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's like, search my balls.
So I'm
not going through the X-ray.
So basically, we should have some sort of we need a.
Hold on. Will you go?
Faraday cage around it. Get a Faraday cage or something around you as you fly.
Yeah, a Faraday suit.
Faraday suit. Okay, so we need a Faraday suit. Dave.
Wait, Adam, help me out. Will you go
through
through
his new headshot suit?
Will you go through a magnetometer?
The regular one?
Yeah.
Of course, because that's just.
So then, why don't you get TSA pre-check and then it goes through?
I always go through.
Okay.
I know. I do that.
There you go.
If I'm ever feeling like a little icky, I just rad source myself.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What's rad source?
It's a machine that all the weed's going through these days, unfortunately, because people are too scared to fail a test. So they're like, put it through the rat source. You're like, no.
What? Why aren't we talking about this?
It uses X-rays.
We've talked about this before, Dave.
Dave doesn't listen.
Come on, man.
We just showed. I got one at the place. We got one.
We talked about it when. Oh wait, that was during Patreon. He wasn't here.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't hang out for Patreon ever anymore.
Part of the cool kids club.
hate you so much.
But yeah,
you're not my will anymore.
So rad source.
You're out of my will.
Big giant microwave.
About $5.
It's a big giant microwave, but it's not like cooking your weed. It's just killing off the pathogens. But it does, you know.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. For real?
For reals.
Oh,
and,
I don't.
And in Holland and anywhere
Holland
that's
too.
Yeah, Holland has, like, when I first they got medical there, it was like, oh yeah, it's all they send it to Belgium to have it radiated. I was like, really? So you'd send the weed from Holland to Belgium and back to Holland, breaking all these international laws to go just to radiate it? I was like, this is horrible.
It's a similar thing that they do to our food, and they're radiating all our food. And the interesting thing is, it's actually because of these endophytes that I'm talking about. It's because of the microbes.
Fucking endophytes
in the food, right? There's bacteria and all this stuff in the fruit itself, in all around those seeds and everything. So just on the off chance that there might be a bad one, you know, from all these commercial crazy operations and stuff, they just nuke everything. And it's like, okay, well, what type of long-term effect is this having on us all?
Death.
Yeah.
Death.
Well,
2 years.
I would say it's just not enhancing us. That's unfortunate. You know, we're not getting the full benefits. So if you grow your own, you get that.
Yeah, like when
access to
I had a organic farm, like a CSA, for like 3.5 years. It was coming right out of the 2008 crisis, so it, like, you know, it was tough financially. But that was the best I ever felt in my life, when I was eating so much of that fresh food all the time. Like we grew like 400 different varieties of like produce.
There was no customer base.
No customer. I was eating it all.
Oh, that's horrible.
The restaurants were like going out of business. It was nuts, dude.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
2008 was the crash of the real estate market here in the United States. It was terrible. You can go see the movie The Big Short and learn all about it.
But I mean, it all crosses over. Like cannabis, plants are like, so plants have the stomach on the outside and people have the stomach on the inside, and we're all kind of like working, all the microbes are doing all the real work. And then people who eat really shitty food don't get the full they don't have very good microbes. It's very, you know, because I have a 12-year-old, right? So we've been teaching him since day one about there's good and there's bad, you know what I mean? Like, feed the good, don't feed the bad. And it's just crazy because if you think about it from that point of view, like when you get those little cravings and you just connect it back to microbes in your head, you go like, no, that's not me. That's those fucking microbes down there going like, eat the ice cream now, eat the ice cream now. It's 2:00 in the morning, you need ice cream now. And I'll be like, fuck. And then I'll give in every time, just pretty much. But I do know in the back of my mind, it's not me. It's the microbes.
right.
It's those fucking ice cream microbes.
The microbiomes.
Yeah.
Totally.
It is. Those little fuckers are strong. Strong-willed.
Who's got some weed?
Bring some weed.
Strap,
bring some weed. Come on now.
Well, and that's what we're all about too. Is like we really are trying to harness the nature and bring it back into the cannabis plant and also into people's gardens, because it makes us for a stronger, healthier person and happier person.
Oh, he's rolled it already? Look at that.
Already rolled.
Jesus. He's hiding something.
Yeah, what's in these?
Sticks and stems. He's put all the stems in there. He's like,
really?
Roll the stems up for Dave.
This looks like a pre-roll.
Look at that.
Thank you, Brainstrap Genetics.
He found him on the floor. He found him off the floor.
The Flower Factory. What else are you part of?
He's not listening.
He can't hear me.
He's not listening.
He doesn't want to say.
Andre's in the house.
I put him on the spot.
Andre Grossman in the house. Tian, you remember Andre? You met Andre, right? Back in the day? Photographer, the High Times? German Andre? Do you remember him?
Probably.
Yeah. He's
back.
He's hiding in the back over here.
He probably just got out of a hot tub somewhere. Or hot springs.
Yeah, he's still wearing a bathrobe. He's got a
He does
bathrobe.
look like that, right? He looks like he just got out of a hot tub all the time. He has that refreshed look, like,
So when you were talking about the microbes in the trikes, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, the bacteria, right? The bacteria in the trikes. Mm-hmm. is that stuff that you've actually got to see data on from product that you grew, or was it stuff that some just out there?
Yeah, it's so it's from most of the work is from Dr. James White out of Rutgers University and his team. It's a lot of his underdocs and stuff like that, and basically he knew about the rhizophagy cycle, and he's been studying endophytes his whole life, so studying these microbes and these microbial associations. But then when the rhizophagy was discovered, which that just means they discovered that the microbes were actually going into the roots and cycling around, and that's when he started really working more and pushing the examinations.
That's why your endos are the ones you really go for, not the ectos.
Of course. I would say that all the time.
It's mostly, the interesting thing is it's mostly beneficial bacteria, like the endo and the ecto mycorrhizae.
Yeah.
The cool thing about mycorrhizae is they actually also are internalizing bacteria. So they're doing the same exact thing. They're actually absorbing in specific strains and cycling them through the hyphae of the fungus. So a really good mycorrhizae, a lot of times all it's doing for the plant is delivering the good bacteria to them. It's like a pre-selection step.
It's the Uber.
Well, is it it inserts itself into the root itself and kind of makes the
the way that
channel?
the way that the plant absorbs the bacteria, this is kind of spooky. They don't know yet.
Ooh.
So that's actually the mystery, is they don't know exactly how the bacteria is going through the root cap. Basically, as those cells are growing, that meristem right there, the cells are pretty soft, sure enough, that's where they're getting absorbed in. And like I said, most of them are getting dissolved right then and there, because you can't just let the microbes be flooding in. It's actually almost like a pre-selection step. So it's killing off most of them, and then the ones that do get in, it starts incubating and feeding and work their way through the whole plant.
It's like sci-fi.
It's super sci-fi, but the cool thing is, as you said, it's all connected. It's just crazy where you can do crop steering and run no microbes at all, but guess what? There's still microbes in the environment, and there's actually still microbes that were sprouted with that seed and have been coexisting with it for its entire life. Even if you take a clone, they're in there. So it's you can't get rid of them. All you can do is diminish the quantity and work them down, and then they become more reliant on chemicals, so then you're just spending all your money on chemicals. The nice thing about the natural farming and stuff is it offsets your costs. It's typically a little bit less expensive, and then it also gives you more of a buffer and more of an insurance with the plant. Like I said, it's buffering the pH for you. It's solubilizing all the nutrients and giving them more regular, more consistent nutrients, and that's really nice thing to have. Your plants don't take a quick turn for the worst if something changes or if something goes bad.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely when they're all being fed salts and real simple, they're gonna look great. They're gonna look great, but then if you miss 1 or 2 cycles, you're fucked. All of a sudden the plants just go, wow, they look bad really quickly. You're just that does not.
Yeah. If your pH meter was
zero buffers
off,
within the soil.
I hate when that happens.
That's literally why I stopped growing hydro, because I had just those.
Too?
I had to move. Oh no, I had to move a grow, and it was all on DWC, and it was a nightmare. And I was just I'll never do this again, just because it was you were so dependent on the system. The minute you pulled the water out, plants got limp. You're going to transport them, get them to the next spot. By the time they got to where they needed to be, I was God damn it. And the same plant on soil, you could have wrapped that bitch up in some paper, thrown it into the back of your truck, you know what I mean? And just drove it to wherever you have to drive it and pops right back again. So I think, and that's the buffers within the soil itself, so that's that. And in places like Thailand, of course, it's you're already in this beautiful environment, so you don't want to have some synthetic salt grown indoors with some fucking runts or whatever, and you're okay, that wasn't really the point there. So to get the full effect, you want that sun-grown or least greenhouse.
Well, that's why I think Thailand needs to regulate all outdoor crops to make sure that they can maintain their indigenous genetics before somebody from California comes in and just lets a 10,000 hectare plot go wild,
Is there
and
a
then
couple
it
of-
seeds the entire everywhere.
Is there a couple nationally sort of recognized strains, but not just like areas? Is there like a certain particular, like you said, tiger tail, and what was the other one?
Squirrel tail. I think there's 9 total cultivars that are declared heirloom genetics here in Thailand that the Thai government are working on
That's cool.
preserving
That's
and
cool.
developing other hybrids from those genetics.
Sure. And then, and they're all, and those are all just ones that have been sort of hung on by the right people, I guess, and recognized.
Yes, in the underground for the last.
Cops have busted enough of that one. They're like, yeah, we busted enough of that one over the years. We know it's real. We've been paid off by that family for the last 40 years. So yes.
Yes, ever since the U.S. government forced their drug war on us, we had to preserve those underground.
The U.S. enforces their drug laws on everybody it has a treaty with.
Any standout sort of seed companies come out of there, like people who from doing those types?
I mean, I know a few different European seed banks, but
no, I don't mean that. I mean like locals that actually like sort of embrace that idea of like, okay, we're producing these 9 strains, or we're producing 2 of these 9 strains. Do any of them deliver them as seed, or are they all just kind of?
they're not public seed banks. They are. It's under the government, I think, agricultural department.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's like so, but they're not doing anything commercial. They're just doing it more from a sort of studies and university, et cetera, or is it that they're actually dabbling within the market itself?
I think it's more for medical use. A few of these cultivars are higher in CBD that they're developing. The government and the different government hospitals and universities are developing. But I've not seen these genetics on the market simply because there really isn't a loud enough demand for it.
Right.
People like we're talking about THC content. People who don't really understand.
I mean, it'd be really cool if it was like the
terpenes. They're just like, oh, what's the highest THC, right? Of course, these land races are going to be lower in THC, but you'll get a different effect, different terpenes, more focused, more motivating.
Like a royal Thai seed bank would be super dope though. If it was recognized by the government. These are our 9 strains. We're fucking putting our everything behind it, and then since you're exporting already to other countries, because you can't really compete with countries that on that. There's no point of like growing a bunch of American strains and then exporting that. You know what I mean? But there is
stupid.
There is a total reason to export Thai-only strains because then there's no other source. So once you get people like, well, you can't get it from anybody else. Whereas if you get into that like price war of like, well, we got this wedding cake and we have this runts and we've got this do-si-do, and it's like you can get that from any fucking grower anywhere in the world.
I think what Tian is in a position where she can actually educate all the bud tenders in Thailand right now to actually try to educate their patrons on how important terpene content is. And there's so much more to it than one number, an arbitrary number that you can buy that doesn't even have to be a true test. And that determines quality and potency. It's bullshit.
And you have a good amount of... oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, going back to the whole demand for high THC, I'm actually kind of working with brokering a deal with a German medical marijuana client. And one of their requests was 24% THC. Okay, well, I asked them, okay, for medical use, because I did work in California for 5 years during the medical law, high THC isn't always going to be the best for those situations. And then I just talked further with him and about, you want terpenes, right? You want really, fresh, juicy terpenes for a more well-rounded effect. And he was saying something like, oh yeah, people here in Germany, they're looking for low terpene content and high THC content. There's like this miseducation about terpene being because, they're a volatile organic compound. They're like, oh, it's like an alcohol and it's bad for you. That's you wouldn't go to a grower asking for high THC, low terpene. It's just not.
Philip Morris funded those studies.
Yeah. Yeah, so it definitely needs to be an education for what
very
you
blocky,
really need.
a very
for.
blocky mentality there. You're like, no, guy, wrong.
Wrong.
I just look at it always as like there's only so much you can fill this cup. You know what I mean? And if you fill the cup with this one particular part of it all, then you're not really mixing much. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do a proper, real good mix, and you're gonna need a little more headspace there to work with. And the minute you block it out with one thing, you're fucked. And the ones that always caught everybody, I think, over the years were those like weird 1-to-1 combinations where it was like maybe 22% THC, but it was like 11 and 12 or 10 and 10, 11, some real, just like, but somehow those things were like, everybody got floored, you know what I mean? They were like, fuck, this really works, whereas the other stuff that was really high THC, yeah, not usually. Usually that stuff's like,
for you.
The flavors are missing, because there's not much left to fill it up, so you end up with these like flavorless plants where you're like, okay, but on paper it looks good, and that's
another really good thing that ends up lending like a bunch of flavor and like basically immune strength to the plant is believe it or not, algae. And that's something that you have a pretty good source on in Thailand as well, and a pretty good access being close to the ocean. Because another very interesting thing, like one of the newest developments coming out of Dr. White's lab, is that the plants are actually absorbing and dissolving and taking energy from algae as well through the roots. So and that's actually why those top roots right on top of the soil are green. They're actually taking the chlorophyll out of the algae and depositing it right there on the root, and that's why that root starts to like basically be able to photosynthesize.
Oh, yeah, I see that all the time in the grows I go to here in Thailand. I think the humidity level definitely supports the algae growth.
Well, that's the thing with Rockwool, it creates that perfect environment, you know what I mean? So
and you just nailed it. It's like Rockwool creates that perfect environment too. And look, nature just harnesses every little thing that it can. In nature, you're exactly right. Like, it's got the humidity, it's got the sunlight. That's all that algae needs to survive. So of course the plant is going to utilize that as a resource.
You figure that out quickly if you leave the top off your reservoir, like how quickly you're like, oh shit, that shit goes quick, you know what I mean? It's like very opportunistic because you've given it everything. It's got a little bit of like, if there's some sun coming in your room, you're fucked, you know what I mean? Like,
and what's the other thing algae needs? Nutrients.
Exactly.
So of course it's going crazy.
You just created this perfect, like a swimming pool full of nutrients for this algae to thrive in.
Right.
And then Rockwool, that's always like a, obviously if you're smart, you can put a cover on your plant. You can put a cover over it to keep the algae from growing, but for the most part, it shows you quickly how opportunistic it is, because you could come in one day and the next day you see it, you know what I mean? And you're like, wow, that was fucking out of nowhere, just because you created the perfect environment for it.
Yes, yeah, and it kind of takes that the good, fast-growing elements from the algae. It's actually able to absorb some fats from it too, so it's a very high energy potential.
It gets hella slimy too.
Exactly.
It's like, holy shit, that's like, you got to be something, that's one of those things. Aesthetically, I hated it always, and. You always felt like it was competing with the plant at that point. If it's thriving just a little too good, and you get mushrooms growing on those algae. If you got a really weird environment, I've seen that also, like little tiny micro mushrooms.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Then you're growing like more than cannabis at that point.
You have a whole ecosystem.
All right.
Totally.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. So wait, James Bean, man on the scene. I know you're in there. I know you're out there somewhere.
Where are you?
He's playing with his Dave AI buddy.
What are you talking about?
The Dave AI. Dave AI and
I don't know what you're talking about.
James Bean, man on the scene. I know you don't know. We don't need you to know that anymore. You're done. I've had you recreated for your birthday. I was like, what?
Shit?
I should have you. Yeah, he was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Sounds like a plan. Let's do it."
Bring him on.
Then Dave, we don't even need you anymore. We'll have the virtual.
No, you still have to pay me something.
Oh wow! Yeah, as much as you're getting paid right now, double.
Oh,
How's
dude.
that? I'll double
sweet.
it. I'll double it.
There's a lot
From
of smoke.
0 to double zeros. How good is that?
All right, what do you got, James Bean? Where are you?
James,
bring me
man
on.
The scene.
I want to talk to me.
Bean, man on the scene. What? Whoa.
I was actually told all you need is 7 minutes.
Right.
If you can get 7 minutes of you talking,
12 photos, I think, is what it required, and he already has
then that's it. They got you. They can recreate you. Like, we don't even know if we're talking to Tian right now.
She could have put her virtual assistant in already.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
she could be sitting off camera going,
I don't want to talk to those guys again. I'll just throw my virtual me in.
I
Take my
have
back
better
to bed.
things to do. I can talk to the guys on the first smoke of the day or the Beard Bros. You just go right on to those shows and no problem. I understand. What's the code word we had, Tian? Aha! We didn't have a code word. So good, because if you would have said one, I knew you would have been a clone. Entirely possible.
That was intense, man.
I'm just trying to fill to James Bean, man on the scene, shows up.
Oh yeah, he's.
I don't think he's coming, man.
Huh?
Maybe he's not
coming.
What? He can't leave you on your birthday like that. Just
No, he's been sending me weird emails from his phone, so they come in all strange.
what does that even mean?
I don't know.
Oh,
dude.
wait. Did we go past the time that they turned off the internet in
It's just
Mexico?
Oh,
It's more wonky.
might have been 39 minutes ago.
Yeah, they might have turned it off.
I swear to
because
God, last time I said it, it happened, right? It was at 7 o'clock or something like that, his time maybe, which he's about an hour ahead, so I could imagine 7:39. I just texted him, and I didn't see a blue check yet. It's gone double gray checks.
Yeah, I haven't seen him check in the chat over here either.
James
So.
B. I mean, I have a few.
what
I
will
can
we
send
ever
you.
do?
I can send you what he sent me, but they're not.
Yeah, he sent me like.
You got a couple?
No. But they came in this weird attachment through the email, and I don't know what it's. I don't know.
It's a virus.
I think it's maybe
Maybe it's AI.
iPhone to Android thing.
Oh no.
Oh,
know
James,
what I mean?
send it to my phone. I have an iPhone.
Yeah, he has an iPhone.
I'll
But
gladly
James is in
share
the
it.
land of no internet right now.
Because
Do
I'm
they-
still not convinced that's Tian.
Do they shut your internet off in Thailand ever?
I mean, I sent you one. I sent you one right now, which is like the only video thing he sent me, but it wasn't very long. It's
Are we gonna spoil this before James gets here, though?
I know. I don't want
But
to.
is he gonna get here?
Where is he?
I don't know.
Maybe if
These
I do
are the
this,
things I don't
this will
know.
call him in because they're like, no, don't do this. Don't show this.
Yeah.
This is only the beginning. And he said he was working. Like literally, I hit him up last night, and he was like, "All right, I'm in it, doing it." And then I think he worked himself to a frenzy and just passed out on the
maybe.
keyboard.
Maybe.
He's an AI.
He sent me a read, and he kept sending me these weird emails with weird attachments that were impossible to open. Like,
wow. Maybe he's been
get it.
kidnapped or something.
I don't know.
There's something weird happening.
I don't know.
Hold on. Let me see what I got. I got a few more that he sent me, but they're not they're not videos. They're like stills.
Chat is commenting how you have not grown your epic beard back out. Not even in the winter. That's crazy, man.
He has to give occasional
rebel.
mugshots.
I'm a rebel. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like I said. As long as I do it, I'm going to see how many people join the beardless society. Because it was easy on the beard. When I had the beard, I was like, dude, I think I'm going to grow my beard like yours. Like, then they all just started growing them, and then it was like, it's no fun.
Yeah.
So got to be top of your field, right?
I shaved my beard once.
Ooh.
As soon as it grew in, I never shaved it. The only time I did it was so I could look.
And this
like
is it. This is all you can do.
Like Kramer from Seinfeld back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
For a Halloween show. It's
pathetic.
I know.
Okay.
So piggybacking on the algae thing really quick.
Really, you don't want to talk about Mark's beard?
I mean, I would like maybe for the rest of the night. But
Okay.
No, we're good. Please go on with something important.
Well,
He should shave it more, I'm thinking.
anyways,
Yeah.
Dave, please.
our product Blue Grease is an algae extract. And you're going to see a lot more of those come online, like algal extracts and even algal type products as even like a biofertilizer. Because for that exact reason, now that they know that the plant's able to eat them.
I know what I wanted to ask you. For instance, like kelp, right?
Yeah.
I used to love it. Now I'm all scared to even use. Not that I'm, for my own personal, no big deal. But if you use it in any kind of facility or something like that, it's like a nightmare because of the whole fucking heavy metal nightmares of not knowing if it's the source.
That's another reason why we kind of use like an extract to kind of guarantee that it's not got that heavy metal risk or anything like that, because that is a concern with algae. You just want to make sure that
because
like
they're bioaccumulators basically.
Exactly. So the source material has to be really clean. So that's definitely a smart consideration.
Not the Ganges, not the Ganges River. Like, okay, yeah, it's my source here. Human bodies floating by. Not too good. But yeah, so I've kind of cut it out a lot of programs just because I used to be so heavy into it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, if that's what's fucking failing everybody's things, you probably don't want to get too stuck on it. You know?
I think you'd really like the blue grease for that reason. I think you'll like trying it because it's the benefits from the kelp, but without that risk.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing with our OG grease, the trace mineral. It's the benefits of the trace minerals from the ocean without the risk that you get from like glacial rock dust or azomite, unfortunately.
Oh, I hate when this
It's crazy.
happens.
There was a product back in the day from NorCal that was a sea product, like a sea, basically the same thing. The guy literally just like scooped out the water, dried it up, fucking bagged it up or something. It was real simple, but he was raving about it. Like he's like, dude, it's everything you ever needed, man.
What's special about the OG grease is it comes from like one of the highest trace mineral locations on the earth. Like there's only 4 locations where they're like extra like super high, apparently, and it's with like the most trace mineral density. So that's where it comes from. It's from where the Colorado River hits the Sea of Cortez. So all those nutrients and coming down the Colorado River flush into that, and that mixture makes for some really nice stuff. But you don't have the heavy metal risk because anything that's that would be a problem falls out, and the ocean homogenizes it to a safe level.
So I'll give you a little advice. Next podcast you show up on, you should be more prepared.
Is it like where the water separates?
You understand? Holy fuck! He knows more about everything I've ever heard about in my life. I don't, maybe I'm just dumb when it comes to growing plants.
That's where we're gonna go.
Yeah,
we're going with that. We're going with that.
No, he's smarter than you.
Not smarter than you, though. Look at you and your Oreos loving shirt.
What is that?
It's Dave. Dave and his hippo buddies. Oh, it's virtual Dave.
Oh wow, he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. You should have seen the one I made. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the one I made.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. These are just still shots. See, he needed to come with the real deals.
He's going to come with the real
go back to the other one there.
There you are. Look at bagels.
David's.
Cooking bagels. Look at you.
Dude, cooking
Dude,
bagels.
looking pretty good.
He's like,
I'm liking these so far. Keep going. Find me a bad one.
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love AI then. I'm a big fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Again, I still don't think that's Tian. So it could be her double. All right, that one looks pretty bad.
Huh? Well, here's a new one. Here's one I made last night. I was like, well, something like this. He goes, you got any ideas? I go, I got an idea. How about this? I was like, there we go. Yeah.
Androgynous Dave.
No, that's
No,
it.
you got the skates, dude.
Oh,
I got your skater,
you
boy.
got my skates on.
He's a skater, boy.
Flesh-colored leotards.
That's perfectly accurate.
That's what I've been waiting for you to get to. I'm like, Dave, you just got to get the flesh-toned leotards and the roller skates.
You're going to have to smooth everything over a little bit.
I just...
separate the chin and the body.
I just think you need some Daisy Dukes.
Oh.
It really completes the whole thing.
I already have the whole thread going. All I have to do is say, add Daisy Dukes, and then it'll happen.
Yeah.
So I might,
Please.
for Patreon.
Yeah,
if you want to see that in Patreon,
$1.05.
come on in. $1.05.
It'll cost you $1.05.
Yeah, everyone said the last one was more believable.
Davy Dukes.
AI.
Davy Dukes.
Davy Dukes.
AI fat bastard Dave.
Oh,
He'll be wearing his Davy Dukes.
Yeah.
Yes, he's changed. He's
in roller skates.
Well, that was the whole
On
point.
roller skates.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole freaking point,
The
dude.
whole point.
Yeah, Skater Boy.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
and when you left, we watched the video, and guess who was on the video?
Who was on the video?
Chef Ra.
No way.
It was the last probably time he came to Amsterdam, 95.
No shit.
Because he didn't die until later than that, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Chef Ra, and nobody here knew what I was talking. I was like, dude, that's the guy who gave Dave the name.
Yeah.
He started the whole thing.
From Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
Is that where you're supposed to be from?
No, he's from Philadelphia is what I was always told.
Oh, from that video we watched in Patreon.
He would put the fake accent on.
He had the guy, Chef Ra, and he was wearing a big hat, and he was up on stage.
He's on stage,
Talking about Dave.
Talking about Dave.
The one time he met that Skater Boy guy.
Oh, look.
Speaking of which, here we are, finally.
You're not going to put a hat on?
I had to show a couple images because I didn't know if you were going to come show up, so I had to show a couple. Nothing good. Not all your good stuff.
And you're looking good, buddy.
Are you tired from
the
dealing
camera
with...
adds 10 pounds.
You had to look at so many images of you in the last 24 hours.
Goodness.
I'm surprised,
I like that one.
I'm surprised you made it.
He messed me up.
Well, he left?
Yeah, he left. Why you mess me up like that?
I'm sorry. Come back.
Dude.
I didn't talk about your shirt.
Oh, okay. He's back.
He's back.
Okay, good.
It's all right, it's on. You want to fucking talk some shit? It's on. Fucking Dunn, you did right.
So, no, I said you've been looking at 24 hours of pictures of Dave. This is like nothing.
Oh, yeah, no, it's been fucking torture.
That's enough to kill. That's enough to kill a man right there.
I was just thinking how much time I've wasted in this.
I agree with you totally. I'm flattered that you would waste that amount of time of your life, James Bean.
I know. It's quite amazing myself.
Okay. As long as you'll make everyone laugh, I'm all for it. Let's go.
I'm trying to figure out how to share my screen with the good folks.
I don't think we would ever give you access. Wait, he's on a Mexican internet. If it turns off, when he gives
I'm
us...
on Mexican.
There we go. I allowed.
I'm on Mexican.
I think I allowed.
Oh.
You're the one that says they turn internet off at a certain time.
It happened at one time. Remember, you were like "Brr," gone, and it was like I
can
made a
your
joke, and then
internet-
you said it was real.
Can you tell if Tian's real?
Oh yeah, is she real or is she
No.
AI?
Are you going to Cannabis, James Bean?
No, I'm not.
You know, you can send Tian there. She can fly from Thailand and rep for you.
Seats here now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
She'll wear a t-shirt.
How
She'll
am I
wear
gonna
a
share
t-shirt.
my stuff?
I guarantee.
Does it not work?
T-shirt.
Do you want me to try again? Or something? Oh, wait, no. I don't want to do that.
I can give you
I think it'll work.
take over.
There.
James Bean, take over.
I did multiple people can share at a time, so both of you guys can go. Just share all kinds of stuff.
Share
if you
away.
want. Yeah, just go for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you have any
pretty
virtual
cool.
AI.
Wait, let's get back to you sending Tian to Cannabis.
Jeez.
You guys, can you see the screen or no?
I see nothing.
Oh no.
We found Adam airfare for $500.
You gotta ask AI how to do this, man, because that's what AI knows everything. How do I put the picture on the screen?
Oh, you are.
Second
And
desktop.
we trust you with our genetics, huh?
I'm feeling fucking zooted.
Yeah.
Are you guys doomers or are you expectationalists when it comes to AI?
Now we're talking.
Oh.
It's a little of both.
Doom, what do you mean?
probably.
It's got to be
I don't know the
Doom at some
difference.
point. It's got to be Doom at some point.
Depends on if we allow it to
I
just
got
run
high
rampant.
hopes.
Fun ride. It's gonna be a fun ride, though.
Sure, sure.
Because I got
A lot of
high hopes.
Got a lot of
We
memes.
should all talk over each other.
Oh, no, just talk over Dave. It's okay. But
Yeah, Dave mainly.
Mainly.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. We got something going on.
Here we go.
Look at this.
I got high hopes.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
What does
look
it
at
say?
Dave.
What
It's
does
a
it
bunch of
say?
And looking trim as
Wait, go back. I would like to see what it
himself.
says.
He looks great.
Yeah, Dave looks
His
great.
ways making.
Oh, they can't make words.
It was, Dave was arrested by the fashion police.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a baby retarded, Dave.
Hey,
Oh, grown up.
slow baby Dave.
Oh, wow.
Slow baby
It's
Dave.
DJ Dave.
DJ.
Oh.
I like.
Dave's in good shape. Not there.
Oh, what
Thank you,
happened?
Dave.
Dave's out of
DJ,
control
no.
right here.
Groovin'.
He needs to lose weight in this photo.
Black Dave.
Comedy fun.
Oh, Nas is looking for you, man. You're in trouble.
I like DJ Dave.
It's
There.
James Bean.
That's a shot right there. Hippo Dave. I
There
like
we
that
go.
one.
Oh, go back, Hippo. Go. I didn't see that one.
Shirt. Dave being arrested by the fashion police again.
Fashion police taking out Dave.
2 Daves.
Was that
Horrible world.
Snowden?
Dave
Two
looks like
Daves.
I'm
Arm
liking
wrestling?
this. Hey, where's
A whole
Dave?
room full of Daves. This is
James.
Yeah,
Bagel
this is the one
Dave.
you like, Bagel Dave.
This is Dave versus Dope Monster.
What is going on here?
I don't know. You
That's
could have
so
done much
crazy.
better, but thank you. Oh, keep
Dave
going.
in some horrible
Look at
t-shirts.
that. Oh,
All
yeah.
the shirts
Dave
make
with the
no
t-shirt
sense.
story.
Yeah.
Wow, look
Whoa.
at Dave.
They are
He
terrible.
looks all
Dave
young
shirts.
right there.
Those were
This
Dave
one. This is the
tried
one.
to out-eat the
We
hippos.
saw a preview of this already.
Yeah, this is the one.
But
right here.
that's
No,
good.
That's the winner so
That's
far.
the most realistic
That's the
one
winner
so
so far.
I think that's what he does.
Yeah, hold on. That's
when
the
he goes
winner
home.
so far. Is that it?
We're back.
Oh, go back. Yeah, go back. We saw that one.
Is this moving?
No, it's not. You clicking the wrong fucking button.
Jeez.
After all this time.
Hold on. Slow.
That's the one?
That's the one.
He likes
the
that one the
one.
most.
That's the winner.
Feels the best.
I like. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's quality stuff.
Just like home.
Yeah.
I love the shirts make no sense at all.
Yeah.
Make it in that. You can tell it right away. It's
like Dave's shirts in real life.
I cannot believe you wasted that amount of time for 2 minutes.
Did you try to do
How many hours was that?
Now, did you try to do the conversational AI version or no?
Now that you mention it.
That's the
Here
one
we
we
go.
want. To want to talk to the fake one.
Now we're talking.
That's the one we want.
I want to talk to the fake one.
Exactly. I want to see you talking to the fake one.
Oh, conversational. No, not conversational. Just
Yeah.
Just him making some
Sure.
jibber jabber.
Bleep, blop, bloop, blop, bleep, blop, 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 blop.
no, just.
So,
says that-
Tian, what do we need to do to preserve Thailand's genetics so that it doesn't get fucked up? Because that's my prediction of the future, is it'll somehow have to get fucked up before it can try to find the path again.
It's weird.
And
how can James
in
buy
smaller
your ticket?
markets,
That's pretty much what you're trying to figure
right? Yeah. How can James preserve the genetics?
By buying a ticket.
You know,
to this man.
and then have you?
Oh, here we go.
This is some rare footage I found.
Oh, you found the footage from the actual thing?
Oh wow!
Whoa, what's going on? Jibber jabber.
behind the picture,
scenes,
dude.
Behind the scenes.
That's sick, dude.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty good.
I fucking love that.
Rare footage I lifted.
I'm gonna have to screenshot that later. Man,
That's
He was
great,
angry that day,
James.
my friends.
like an old man trying to return soup to Delhi.
that's good
Come
stuff.
on, I can outdo you.
Well, there you go. I'm surprised you made it.
What do you got? What else you got, James? Come on.
That's enough. That's enough for you for one day. Like my
That's all you
computer's
get.
fucked
That's
up.
all you get,
It's like,
Dave.
stop loading pictures a day. Stop.
You sure? You waste more time on me. Go.
No,
Come on.
Whole thing when you're done here.
Come on.
You just gave him the best birthday present. Someone paid attention to him
I know.
on the show.
I hate Mark. Someone learn how to do what Mark does. Anybody,
Please.
do if you do what Mark
Anybody.
does.
Yeah.
you can do it. We'll pay you
Anybody.
double of what we pay
Yeah,
him.
this is great. Let's do that.
Double what they pay Mark.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Get a couple of plates of pasta and cheese.
That was more my style. I was going on that style, but did you get the latest one?
Oh, I got the latest one.
Okay, that was more. This is more what I was going on. But
Whatever
but then
style
I
it
just
is,
handed it off.
it's
I just
much more
handed it
hateful.
off. I handed it off to James. I was like, James he'll do good.
Hold on.
This is a young up and coming
Yeah, hold
Dave
on.
when he
I'm
still
sorry.
had
Here we
hair.
go. There we go. Here we go.
There we go. Selfie.
Yeah.
Selfie.
I
That was my look. I was
Nice midriff.
I mean,
wow.
Yeah, he just needs skates and he's good.
Look at the
Skates is some Davy Day Dukes.
Go back to the face.
Sort of like a
It
mix.
doesn't look like it's
between-
finished.
Well, it's like a mix
Yeah, it
between
it kinda gave you a little-
Napoleon Dynamite
Yeah.
and Carrot Top.
There you go.
Right, too
That's
much
nice,
carrot
dude.
top, but the
That's
hair's
nice.
close.
That's good, dude.
Yeah.
That was
What
my
else you got?
I didn't see. I left it. I gave it up. At
We got
point.
that one. You like that one? You don't like that one?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you'll use it a lot.
Here, I have the one without the background all cut out, so it looks not as
What is
bad.
that horror behind you?
Oh, monkeys. You are
no.
a sick fuck,
Dave.
James.
Hey, with the monkey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Two of the monkeys had my birthday.
Dave's the party guy.
It's almost getting to the time where we have to do ads.
Oh, no. We can keep doing this for a little while. Oh, nice.
It's time to
You
do
like that
something
one?
else.
Yeah.
That was the one. That was the shit without getting all cut
I mean, I
out.
like it.
That's better.
You just phoned this in.
No, it's in the studio because you're fucking working out, dude.
First crop.
You like that.
But I hadn't quite got there. This is another one. There's another one coming
All
your way.
right.
But
Another
I couldn't
one
get the face
coming.
right. I couldn't get the face right on this one.
Incoming.
I had to do a front facial shot because the other ones were coming. It was impossible to get the angle right. So this is another one.
Okay, I'm coming.
You can tell my prompts. You can tell my prompts. But there we go. There was another one.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was going for the
Make it
pirouette.
big.
I was zooming in. Yeah, it's pretty good.
No.
Don't you- so- but I couldn't quite get the thing right. So yeah, there you go.
Nah, I like the other one. It has more of a bulge. Yeah.
Anyway,
There you
that one's the one right
That's
there.
the one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right.
But that was AI Dave. That's not you.
I
That's
understand.
AI Dave. There's a totally different Dave.
I was looking forward to the
You're gonna get
AI
stared at all day.
I like the weird,
that I was told James
behind you
created that we
looks
can
good.
talk to.
The DJ one is good.
The
I like
DJ
that
one's
one.
good.
The DJ one is on point.
Yeah.
Chunky Monkey Dave.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Now we need
some good
copies of
ones.
all these.
Oh, I'll be
And
sure to
then
forward them
nothing
over
makes
to you.
sense.
hard
Nothing
drive.
makes sense. Step out. Is that in Thailand or is that in some Thai shit behind
That's in
it?
Thai. That's actually in Thai. Yeah, correct.
She's like,
And
exactly.
it
I knew
auto-corrected.
she's going to be here, so I wanted to.
Stop doing this, dude. It's a podcast.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we're gonna let Tian go.
Yeah.
We have to do our
Oh.
ads, and we're gonna get all boring.
Thank you,
now.
Tian.
Boring ads coming
We
up.
appreciate you.
Not boring. The best
I
ads
understand why you're the last kid picked in the draft every season.
ever. See you soon.
See you
Hopefully,
in
hey, we'll see you in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
We'll get you. We'll
Yeah.
find you a sponsor.
We'll
Dave's,
see you in
Dave's on it.
Barcelona.
Girls meet up and share drugs and talk about them.
Wow.
Wow, Vinny, right on.
Always timing.
Perfect.
Did it last time.
Oh,
We
shit.
did it last time. So this is where we get to the fun part, to the ads, to the best part of the show. The best part of the show.
I don't think
Half the
so.
people are here. We got Miles in the studio.
Well, you heard how crazy
not
it was in
listening to
here.
the show.
You can make it all crazy here at So High Cafe.
Hey.
www.sohighcafe.com.
right now it's packed. Every seat is taken.
4300
Every seat
West
is
Alameda. This is probably the pack. Most pack I've seen.
Packety.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
the
don't know.
most packed.
There
And
better still be food left.
Carlo's here too.
I know. Look at. He's like loving it. He's like, this is the way. This you guys are killing it. You're making
We're
tons
killing
of money.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
that's
the
the
worst
way he
time to
wants
have,
it to
it's
look
the
like.
worst time to have your landlord come in is when it's busy with all your friends because they think you must be killing it.
Oh, this is how it is every night.
I
Brisket,
wish.
burn ends, homestyle mac and cheese,
I need my rent
a
now.
plethora of
Fuck
soft
you,
drinks,
pay me.
Ozo coffee on tap. Come down to So High Cafe.
Fuck you, pay
We
me.
record podcasts. We do the Adam Dunn Show here live Friday. We do Sports Fiends on Sunday, and we have DJ gear. So if you want
Yeah,
to come
you
down,
know when you're doing the Instagram
yeah.
reels and you see the
Wicca,
DJs going down, going wicked, and the food's going,
Like
bring
that.
it.
bring it.
Bring your friends that
And
like
your food.
to eat
I got
lots
the
of
food.
barbecue. and
Come
then
film your
combination's perfect.
boiler room DJ set here. You can have
Right.
all your
Boiler.
friends.
Toilet room DJ?
Toilet.
What?
Boilet room? Boiler room.
Boiler room.
Wow.
Oh, you are so far
Okay,
behind.
you
Yeah.
freaking boomer over here.
I know.
Yeah,
it.
that's total.
We don't have time to explain to you.
55.
So don't worry,
Jesus
Dave, okay?
Christ.
So High Cafe. Hit up Vinny. He cooks most days.
Yep.
And if you hit him up, he'll let you know what's going on.
Yep.
Even
Come
does
on
custom deals.
Oh, yeah. Actually, my family, we're getting all of our Super Bowl food ordered
shit.
from So High Cafe.
If you want to get like,
so hit
you
him
better
up.
hit him up now.
When's
Make
the
'em
Super
really
Bowl,
fucking busy.
Mark?
The Super Bowl is this Sunday, Dave.
Oh,
It's the Eagles versus the Refs.
That's if you're listening to the
Right.
show.
the Chiefs.
Today,
I like that. The ref.
Who owns the
February
Chiefs?
7th.
the Refs.
That's if you're listening to the show on
right.
February 7th.
Yeah. All right. SoHighCafe.com. OzoCoffee.com.
So you go to ozocoffee.com, you enter Done Deal 2024 at checkout. You get 20% off all the mail orders, nothing at the stores, just all the mail orders.
This show is worldwide.
Amazing, amazing coffee. Ozocoffee.com.
Done Deal 2024.
There you go.
Look at the big picture.
BuildASoil.com.
Build a soil.
855.
Oh shit! Now he turns around.
Build a
Finally, we've
soil.
been talking ferments, and he hasn't moved.
We
It.
gotta build a fire.
Hey, we did a show here while you were having a conversation the whole time,
All
just
about
letting you know.
ferments. It was
We talked
all
about ferments for like 4 minutes.
It's the cartel party.
You were like,
No, and you just you didn't even pay attention. No
care.
flinch. I talked about you. You didn't even turn around. I talked about you.
Louder.
No, I didn't.
hear
Oh,
you.
over
don't
you.
ask him to talk any louder, please.
Oh.
Hey, you know what you can do? You can go over and see.
BuildASoil.com.
855
Fermented plant
877 soil.
extracts.
all the good things. Rootwise in the house. I mean, all the good things.
Pretty much.
Adam, happy birthday to Dave, number one.
Is that like Blink
That's why
182?
we're all here, right?
Shout out
It's
to
like
Blink
loud in the
182.
studio.
Was it?
Loved it.
Was it loud? I didn't notice.
It's all for you.
We were out here shushing fools.
I didn't notice at all. There was no
Shushing
need
each
to
other.
do that.
Only one who parties.
Shushing each other. Shushing themselves.
Buildasoil.com.
On y'all's
yourself.
behalf.
I shush
Shushing on
myself.
y'all's behalf.
Well, you don't have to shush.
So the microbe talk could continue.
YoTip.com.
We were smoking with yo tips and shit.
You gotta always use a yo-tip. It's a better way to smoke.
What'd you think about yo tips? You like it?
Wonderful.
See, and we didn't even
No
make out
germs.
or nothing.
We didn't make out at all.
We didn't even
This
make
whole
out.
show.
I was like, yo, this is legit.
It is. It makes sense. And everybody has their
No
own personal,
germ.
your own personal mouthpiece. How's
Yeah.
that?
Oh my
How's that?
goodness.
Me and Katie were just talking about how
And
much we
different
use yo
sizes.
tips.
Uh oh, here comes
I'm
some
gonna break my sugar.
would think
I
they're
haven't
awesome.
had sugar in a really, really,
Dave's
really
gonna get
long
smashed in the
time.
face with a cake. Is that what's finally happening?
Whoa, where are you going?
Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and say, got some yo tip
Dave, pick out your.
from yotip.com.
It's got the least amount of sugar.
Oh, man, we're getting
The one without the
derailed
powdered
here.
sugar, probably.
But they have all kinds of stuff.
Should have
Yeah.
taken those.
do it. Do
They got
it.
tips.
Do
They got
it.
filters.
Splurge.
Oh shit.
They,
YoTip.com.
yo
That's my
tips.
mom.
Get the ultimate party pack,
Going to
dude.
Florida.
Because you know you like to
Miami.
party.
Use Done Deal at checkout. They use Amazon for fulfillment. They're an amazing product. But the best thing you can do is, when you go to your dispensary, if they're not selling yo tips, get them in touch with yo tips, and they'll have some sold there.
Definitely, if you have a
YoTip.com.
medical place, it's
You gotta have it.
Gotta have it. And if you're doing like any kind of festivals or any kind of conferences or something like that, these are great to give to other people around you so you can
Tchotchkes.
share. And then, they
Oh, look.
sparks their brain after a while.
This is what we had at Cowboy Cup.
Oh, speaking of which,
Check it out. That's beautiful.
So shout out to the Cowboy Cup crew to finally. I got my buckle.
Hold on, let me.
Zoom
Let
it
me.
in.
Come on, man.
You got a buckle?
I got the buckle. Yeah, the buckle.
Put it by your face.
The buckle. It's got my name on it, so you can't have it. Or Dave. Doesn't say Dave on it.
No, it doesn't say
Doesn't say
Dave.
Vinny.
No.
Says
Because
Adam.
my dog went into heat.
It does say Adam Dunn Show, so like we could be like, I'm part of the Adam Dunn
I
Show.
can cover the show part anytime. No, it looks killer.
I'll get one.
Eventually,
next
we'll
year.
get one. Vinny's got to get the Vindicator on his, though. It has to say Vindicator. And then you need, I don't know, Dave, what's your birthday? I'll be nice. All right, and I won't say anything. How's that? And then, obviously, with you, face of base at gmail.com.
YoTip.com. Green Farms Med.
Green Farms Med. These guys got to come check out the spot today. See that we're on the way up. But yeah, we've got a grow here in Denver, but now starting next month, I believe it's about to go down. It's going to take over. He's going to take over the next store and expand Green Farms, which is right now medical only. So if you're a med patient here in Colorado and you need to go check out a spot that's got every brand that's out there that's putting any heat out there, plus our own on the shelves, check them out. Obviously, done deal. That's going to get you mega deals. Can't give a number. I don't know. I don't want to promise the world.
To tap water.
You get taken care of.
All right. Green Farms Med. Yeah. Holoshealth.org. Tell them the Dunn Show said so. Yeah. I say the cupcake, man. That shit was good.
Just getting some coffee.
Okay. Holos Health. Yeah. Do it up, Dave.
Holoshealth.org. Tell them we send them 20% off.
Boom.
MMJ cards, microdosing, greenbros.com, the best of, if you're in the cannabis industry, all post-harvest
If you're in the
equipment,
dabba,
all post-harvest equipment, trimmers, grinders, tumblers, joint rolling machines, greenbros.com.
Okay. Green Bros. Apothecary Farms. If you're into concentrates and you're in Denver, Oklahoma, go check out Apothecary Farms. They are the experts in terpene preservation and extraction. They get new drops every Friday. We've been getting lots of cool new flavors lately, so check it out. If you are in Denver, go to the Federal store and tell them Mark sent you, and they'll take care of you.
Do not mention the show.
You could mention the Adam Dunn Show because they might not know who I am, I guess, but that's really not.
I doubt it.
I doubt it, yeah. Kind of a big deal over there. So, Apothecary Farms, dude.
The funniest part is that people are going to go in there and go, Mark, and they're going, who the fuck are you talking about?
Who the fuck are you talking about? Exactly.
Like, from the Adam Dunn Show. Oh, that Mark.
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
So it's going to come back and bite you in the ass.
That's why you gotta say, that's why you got to say Mark from the Adam Dunn Show.
Yeah, because if you just say Adam Dunn Show, they're going to go, what?
Yeah, Adam Dunn Show, they'll be like, nah.
But when you
the most important word is Mark.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
That's
okay.
right.
Apothecary Farms. Dabex.
It's 10 cents per sheet over there.
I've been using the MK Rocket. That's the Dabex Go. You go to
Look at us. We got
dabex.com.
we're representing everything. We got that.
20% off everything you buy. That means the Dabex Go is $159 right here, shipped to your house with a cleaning kit.
And the best thing is that you can use your own rig. And the coolest thing about the Rocket also is that it doesn't get super hot. So like you don't have to worry about like glass cracking, like, you know what I mean? Like I always worry about that with my like quartz bangers and stuff like that. But like with this, very low heat, nice dab, the Rocket MK1, dabex.com.
Coming soon, MK2.
Oh, I can't wait till the 2. I hear it's going to be more awesome.
2 times the awesomeness.
It's more everything.
Okay, I'm good.
But they're really good.
14erboulder.com. Get the done deal at Dabex too.
Oh shit, 14er.
14erboulder.com. You enter done deal at checkout. You get 20% off everything in your cart.
Uncut Bush comes here every time he comes into Colorado. If he comes into the Colorado border, he goes to 14er Boulder. He trucks it right up there.
That's it. Get the DJC.
And he got the done deal.
8-gram tubs. Rosin is on point. Probably $22 after the done deal discount.
Ooh.
Out the door.
Deal.
So they take everything they make in the store, everything they sell in the store.
Isn't it crazy how
is made by 14er?
Like when you're making concentrates, you realize how much it takes to get just that top 1-2% that you're looking at, and then you start thinking about it on scale. And when you see people putting out products that's like, you just don't even know how they're doing it at the price they're doing it, with paying the people and keeping the lights on and the garden going. It's like, wow.
So many of our guys that we work with are extractors because obviously, like, they're seeing the difference, you know.
They sell an 8-gram tub for like $112.
Exactly.
So,
it's getting really competitive. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like what I also try to tell people too is a lot easier to bring concentrates to the market that can get a lane and stay in that lane. Whereas with flower, there's these gaps in between, and things are like summer crop, winter crop. Different temperature, different VPD, there's all these things happening, and so people, if they're tuned in, they're going to notice those differences. Whereas they're going to you're going to be able to kind of reduce that when you do concentrates and get people like appreciating, not getting into that whole THC thing again, like we were talking about earlier, where it's like, how come it's 22 and it was 26? It is like, because this is the summer and that was the winter. And the winter we had much more under control, and now we have to over 80 degrees a couple days, and we fucked up. You know what I mean?
But Adam, if you get one of these, you don't have to worry about it. Because if you just put any kind of concentrate in this thing, you're going to get rocked.
Forget where you are.
Stundenglass.com. We get 23% off with the done deal. Get it done. Stundenglass.com.
Get her done.
It'll mess you up.
Dave likes HortitechDirect.com.
Yeah, you get 6 free brushes.
He does, but he doesn't want to get me my brushes. He's resisting.
I keep forgetting.
Every time I ask him, he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, I need my brushes."
Honestly, I totally spacing it out. Go to HortitechDirect.com. Give him a call. Tell him you heard about it on the show.
No, I didn't use it for that.
Oh, good.
It's good.
No, because listen.
Turpwipes.com/done
missing out
deal.
on those brushes. Those brushes are the shit.
The brushes are the shit, but go to turpwipes.com/done deal.
Fighting over it. Dave can't stop.
It started as a joke, but now Adam is a believer in the brushes.
I know.
See, I'm a soothsayer.
And he's
a
not.
soothsayer.
And he's just all, whatever.
All right.
I'm a Nostradamus of cannabis.
Turp hole. Wipe your turp hole.
Turpwipes.com/done deal. That's all you need to do.
Don't put this anywhere near your turp hole.
Clean your turp hole.
No.
With turp wipes.
I mean,
That's it. That's what all you have to do.
Clean your turp hole.
Never.
Okay.
They love it.
What's next? Dubnutsco.com.
These guys love it when I make jokes.
No, they don't.
They do. They love my jokes.
No,
They're like,
they
Your
don't.
jokes are so good.
Yes, especially my
They're the only ones that have ever really complained.
They told me to pull back a little bit.
Dubnutsco.com, 20% off when you enter Dunn deal.
Deep on the nuts.
You can get CBD infused butter shipped to your door via the website. And also, if you click Find Our Nuts, you can go to local Colorado dispensaries that have 1,000 milligram tubs of infused peanut butter for
it's a good combo.
Your munching.
Dubnutsco.com.
Deep on the nuts.
Boulder built in the former Boulder Wellness Building on Arapahoe Avenue, just west of 55th. Tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. They'll take good care of you there.
Keep it 55th
In-house
Street.
strains are amazing, amazing.
Nice.
And they've got Firecrack for Mark. Firecrotch.
Firecrotch.
He's into crotches, not crack.
Well, the crack was pre-crotch.
Okay.
Pre-crotch, pre-98 crotch.
All right.
Yes.
BoulderBillCannabis.com. Sunscape LED.
Manufactured for the Chinese mining industry. They don't fail. They're tunable on all three spectrums. You go to Sunscape LED. You tell them you heard about it on the Adam Dunn Show. When you get them installed, you can clean them with a pressure washer. Their controls for operating all their lights are second to none. SunscapeLED.com.
JeromeBaker.com.
Now, was the graffiti they were doing, was that they redoing the place, or there was them remembering when they did it back
No,
then?
I think they.
I thought they
don't
moved
know.
from there. I thought they were moving at one point.
I don't know. I didn't go by.
Yar, I don't be knowing.
Okay, so you saw the video I'm talking about, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, nah?
I don't do stuff
I don't,
anymore.
dude.
He wasn't talking to you.
Dude, I don't even care what you say, bro.
Okay.
Talking about Jerome Baker's bra.
He posted a video of them redoing the facade outside.
Oh.
But I wasn't
spray
sure if
painting
it was new
graffiti.
or if it was like they're
Old.
out and they were just like memories.
You're saying it was old.
I don't know.
So quick to be like,
It was kind of graffitied out when we were there.
Okay, but can you out crack me, dude?
Maybe in a Jerome Baker bong. We'll try it out sometime. There, Vinny.
Crack off.
Oh,
All
Crack
right.
versus weed.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. So Jerome Baker, go
Wait
check
for
out the dream
Patreon, you can
and
hear the
go
whole
find
thing.
out if that video was a memory or something that happened recently.
well, wait for Patreon. You can hear
And
the whole thing.
maybe Adam will send you a free pack of seeds or something.
If you wear the frickin', what are you talking about? You gotta buy
just
the
kidding.
jacket. We have.
Yeah, if you
Mark
were,
says counts.
It's real simple. All you gotta do is buy this
Yeah.
one item right here.
you really want some free seeds, you just
guys
buy
hear
this
this?
jacket.
You buy this jacket.
Buy this
Vinny,
jacket.
Yeah, you wear it
Buy this
with
jacket.
a photo. I send you seeds. It's not hard.
Take a photo,
$60
and he'll send you
bucks.
seeds.
You get a jacket and seeds.
He's gonna send you something good.
Deal.
Okay.
Oh, that's a cool jacket.
Get the Colt Adam Dunn jacket. Adam Dunn
Oh,
Colt
you are
jacket.
part of a cult. That's
And-
the,
and
that's-
wait, we
that's
don't-
the only downside.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positives. There's one
Don't for-
downside. You are part of the cult.
All of a sudden, Adam's gonna have you doing something.
Yeah.
Don't for
Yeah.
a second think you can buy the
Uncle
coat.
Andy, ask Uncle Andy what happens when.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Adam asks, yeah, just go do that.
Exactly.
Don't think you could buy the coat, take a photo, and then return the coat.
Oh, no,
because we're going to check up on you before we send the seeds.
right.
Don't you want to
Double back
We're
on
going to
it.
have it a day past the return date.
But
We'll wait 30 days and we'll be like, we're sending this seeds out. But let me see one more shot. And you'll be like, I don't have it.
Yeah.
yo, growers and seed hunters, February is here, and Seeds Here Now is dropping the biggest deals, free seeds and free shipping, because that's what the best in the game does. Love is in the air, free seeds are flying, and guess what? It's Dave's birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
It's in the read?
And if there's one thing Dave loves, it's SHN, because SHN is the BASF of seeds.
Don't you want to become a cult leader?
You might
What?
You might not always see us, but we've been behind the best in the business since day one. Here's how we're celebrating.
On it.
Breeder of the month, Humboldt CSI, 20% off. Legendary genetics, don't sleep on it. Flavor of the month, Diesel strains, 20% off. That loud, gassy, irresistible fire. Sweetheart deals just for you. Elite clones, seed company, buy 2 packs, get 1 free. Clone special, buy 3 clones, get 1 free, get plus free shipping. Canorado Zots BX1 line, every pack comes with free Fem 3-pack of pure XX seeds. Don't break your heart, 30% off clearance seeds. These rare finds won't last, and because James Bean is the AI king of cannabis seeds, spend $200 free 2025 Desktop calendar. Spend $500, get an 18-inch wall plus desktop calendar.
He's having. See, I told him when I was at the place, I was all, dude, you're not doing calendars, are you? And he was like, what? And I was like, dude, you don't
ripped off.
You don't
rip off.
No, not a rip off. I just go as a producer of calendars. I've done this once in my life, and I was like, right around February or March, you're like, did fucking anybody want a calendar? Anybody? And you're like, no. And then you're like, into a palette of calendars because you're like,
spend $500, you're gonna get an 18-inch wall.
Bitches.
He only had 5 made, so it's okay.
Absolute. Obsolete genetics flash sale now until February 9th. 35% off all obsolete seeds. Sorry. It has 3s for the E's, man. I don't know. All right. And the biggest bonus, free seeds on every order. Spend over $10, free seeds. Over $100, free shipping. This is the biggest sale of the year so far. Runs February 1st to the 28th.
Sale of the year. It's like 2 months in.
So get your orders in now. He's not lying. At seedsherenow.com. Happy birthday, Dave. And remember, SHN is the BASF of seeds. James Bean is the AI king. And Dave loves seeds here now.
Wow, look at that. Dave.
Wow.
It's
like Beetlejuice.
That's a lot. There's your
Sunshine Wizard. And then also I want to give a shout out to iwantclones.com. So go check them out. You get
does Dave love iwantclones.com?
Not really. Didn't know what it's called.
He didn't even really?
It wasn't in the. And then don't forget, get your cult jacket.
Join
get
the cult.
seeds.
Join the cult.
Join the cult. Join the cult. Join the cult.
You must.
Get a task from Adam.
Cool.
Get a task from Adam. Get a task from Adam.
Yes, I will task you.
Yeah, you get a jacket. You get a
Adam
task.
will let you trim his weed.
Let me task you something.
I got a jacket. I got
Ask
tasks.
Uncle.
Adam will let you work in his garden.
He knows what's
for
up.
free.
Uncut Bush is on his way down to fix my Jenny. So there you go.
Oh, you're horrible.
He only had to drive 10 hours. In the snow. Yeah, that's the way it rolls.
Yeah.
It's okay. Next time he's going to come hang out and see Strap. Because originally we had big plans. We were going to get in the RV, drive down to Hot Springs,
tubbing and stuff.
and then it was like, that was it. It was 20 below. He came in from Minnesota and he brought Minnesota. It was minus 20. Too. I was like, dude, he's never minus 20 here. Like, what the fuck's going on? And he was like,
he said, bringing the Minnesota weather with me.
Vortex,
here I come.
Polar vortex.
Here I come.
Like, coincidence? No.
Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. And he was all just like, it's not that bad. I'm like, it is minus 20. Anyway, come over to Patreon.
Tell me you're Greek without telling me you're Greek.
Wow.
That's me.
I just pasted the link into the chat. If you want to come join us on Patreon, you get videos of Adam's Grow, a link to chat with the gang here, exclusive MTI DJ mixes.
Oh, and, there's so much more.
You know,
and
an hour,
more.
an extra hour of the show.
More. You say much more.
An extra hour of the show.
Every base possible. You're like, much more.
You know who was in the house within the last 24 hours?
Who's that?
KTI.
Oh
shit. Yeah.
KTI.
If you're out there listening, he's out there working.
He's working on Fridays and Saturdays, so we're never going to see him.
Yeah, maybe in April.
He lives in the mountains.
Oh, he's here now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's living in the mountains.
Oh, nice.
So
we'll never see him.
One day we'll be on the show. He can call in anytime he wants.
Why don't you join us on Patreon
or cooking or whatever?
We got Adam a flight to Europe. Right now, we can work on a project for you. If there's something you need pitched, we're your guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, now you got to get Tian those flights.
Yeah.
You got work ahead of you.
That's easy. What easy?
I mean, just to get you is the hardest. I'm surprised that you did what you do.
You're the hardest.
Yeah.
All the time.
What'd you have to do?
I didn't do anything. I had to work my ass off.
What's wrong with you?
Why are you so hard all the time?
Couldn't get one of your sugar mamas to come take care of you. Like, come on. Should change
all right.
Shirt. Will
this is Patreon talk.
Will Lick for plane ticket.
Yeah.
All
right. See you on Patreon, people.
Bye.
Hey, happy birthday, brother.
Shout out. Oh yeah,
happy birthday, my dude.
Every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip to California.
It's shit like that. We gon' party like this shit like that. We gon' sip a party like this.
It's your birthday, and you know you don't give a fuck 'cause that's your birthday.
Sign up for Patreon.